radio impulses into space. And all necessary heard on every radio telescope on the entire
Did you think it was?
We have patch notes. Oh my fucking god. How you doing, people? Please do not skip ahead of the stream in a section of the patch notes, and I haven't been read yet, as I will get there. Be patient. Abusers will be timed out and banned for repeat offenses. Correct. Mods are on strict duty today to kick anyone that's a deliberate asshole. So, of course, I'm going to be reading them live as usual. So if someone does try to get ahead of me just to show off, you're going to get nuked. Don't be rude. Is this music too loud? If it is too loud, we'll turn it down. Hopefully you can hear me. It might get too loud. We'll see. Anyway, who have we got? Christina, Sendo, Spike, HG Wells even, Grey, JR Primus, Archer, Ready Player One. I thought I said hi to you already in the chat. I must have done. Fire, Llama, Altesia, Dragon. Scroll down. Arhog the Wild, Ether, Dimsy, Mac Attack, Funny Big Balls, Jumping Poles, Original, Anno, Wayne, Muggle, Platts, obviously, how you doing? Welcome to the stream as well. Likes, Spike, Camel, Bland, Pass, Elan, 123, Country, thank you very much indeed for the host as well. Smooch, Salazar, Captain McJingle, fucking whores, there's loads of people. Ramby, Jacob, Entwined Flames, Dr. Paradox, Riansu, Lord Warden. Fucking hell! Would there be a link to the patch notes? You could just look them up. Yes, there'll be a link. Music isn't too loud, but it's distracting versus your voice. Okay, I'll turn it off then. There you go, how about that? No, I'm joking, I'll just turn it down a little bit. How's it distracting? Is that better? Yeah? Joss, how you doing? Welcome to the stream. MF Joe, Jacob, I think I said hi to Jacob already. Let's see. Much better, good. Right, so yes, of course there'll be a link to it, but this is... I don't want to encourage people to be lazy.
I love winnings. Drinks all around.
But if you come here to listen to the patch notes, then you're in the right place. If you come here to read the patch notes, you're in the wrong place.
Winning.
Because there's a forum for that.
Drinks
and you
all
can just
around.
Google it. But yes, of course, I will give you a link. Bear with me just one moment. Copy, paste. The mods can do this as well. Thank you for the host. Thank you for the follows. By the way, also, just in case you haven't noticed already, there you go. Now we can do all the stuff. If you haven't noticed already, I did actually hit 20k followers. I'm on 20,000. How fucking cool is that? We'll have to do giveaways later or some shit like that. Get excited. I also haven't pressed the button. Let's press the ninja button. Also, it's my day off officially. I've already been on one stream today on Bethesda's stream. I'm now doing this one as well. So if you are a dick in the chat, I am just going to get rid. So no fucks today. My PTS downloaded. I'm still 49%. You can't use it yet. You can't use the PTS yet, but the notes are live. So we're going to start reading. This information you already know about. This came yesterday, by the way. 2 dungeons, if you didn't see that already. Last message in the stream, just want to see your reaction to lurk mode engaged. Thank you for the emotes. So, you know you're getting 2 new dungeons. You obviously know that there is going to be the same kind of structure as before, where one of the dungeons is very linear. You go through, you fight the bosses. Last boss has a hard mode. Other dungeon, every boss has a hard mode. Much like the last Stonethorn, sorry. DLC. So, we're going to go over the juicy stuff, obviously, because we all know... Champion points. Yes, I know lots of people are like, well, champion points are going to change soon. Yeah, I know. But they did say they're not going to do that until combat has been set to their kind of standardization of what they want. And looks like they're there. So, we're going to get all that good shiny stuff. The new dungeons are called the Cauldron and Black Drake Villa. But we won't be able to see those at the moment because the PTS is currently down. Hazy, how you doing? Welcome to the stream. Bulldog as well. Welcome. Also Brutal. So, let's see what the sets are, first of all, from the dungeons. So, light armor, spell crit, spell damage, max magicka, adds spell crit, thank you for follow, and increases your crit damage by 4%. This bonus doubles to 1.4k and 8%. Increased critical damage, increased critical damage when you are under 75% health. This bonus quadruples to crit, and crit damage increases if you're under 50% health. So the lower your health, the higher your crit damage. So you got to play risky with that one. Nice. That would encourage you to use some vampire skills, especially the ones that cost health. Thank you for the sub. Oh my word. Who was that? First of all, thank you very much for the sub. Secondly, thank you very much for the sub. Woohoo! You know the rules, people. Thank you very much. Bit and Cake in the chat. We have a new Dragonborn, and thank you very much for grabbing your rocks as well. Much appreciated. 4 silvers, 4 bronze. That is a lot of music, so I'm going to try and turn that down. Is the background music too loud? Because we're going to be here for a very long time if people don't decide whether it's suitable or not. Medium armor looks interesting. I'm getting there. Don't read ahead of me. Right, the medium set. Weapon damage, weapon crit, weapon damage. Dealing damage with a light or heavy attack grants you a stack of Burning Heart for 5 seconds, up to 5 stacks. While you have 5 stacks, you generate an Aura of Wrath, dramatic, granting you Major Berserk, increasing your damage by 10%. While you have an Aura, allies within 12 meters of you also gain Minor Berserk, increasing their damage done by 5%. RIP! What the fuck is it called? The fucking healer one. My brain has stopped. My brain has stopped! What the hell's it called? Combat Prayer. RIP. Combat Prayer. So that's quite nice. Okay, fair enough. So Major Berserk for you, minor for everybody else. Good evening, Zion Ninjas. How you doing? Welcome to the stream. Fight start, people get stuck in. Fucking hell, that's quick. Thank you for the follow. Oh, hello. Wow. Rav, now up to 531 gifted subs. Thank you very, very much. Oh my god, new Dragonborn. I can't keep up. Oh my word. Thank you very much, people. Next set. I'll wait until that's gone. Okay. The heavy set. Health, stamina. When you bash an enemy, you and up to 11 group members within 15 meters of you gain major heroism. Fuck off. That's good. For 12 seconds, granting you 3 ultimate every 1.5 seconds. This effect can only occur once every 18. Shit! Rash, thank you very much. Hugely appreciated, of course. Bit Cake in the chat. Major heroism for the group is fucking mental. Absolutely mental. Yeah, you can get it if you go low health anyway. Or you could with your old champion points. Maybe you can't anymore. But that's fucking cool. Thank you for the follow, by the way. Much appreciated. Happy 15th Elder Scroll 4 Oblivion anniversary. Yes. Yes, indeed. The monster set. Magicka, max Magicka for you, obviously. Dealing flame damage to an enemy grants you Behemoth's aura for 12 seconds. That reaches up to 12 meters. You... Oh, fuck. You and 11 group members. Thank you for the subs. Shit. Thank you for the subs and the bits. 11 other group members in an aura reduce flame damage taken by 5%. Enemies in the aura increase their flame damage taken by 5%. This can happen once every 15 seconds. So a 3-second gap, 12-second uptime. That's actually pretty nice. I mean, a monster set boosting your entire group. Thank you for the bits. Much appreciated. That is unusual. I mean, obviously you've had healing sets and stuff in the past, but that is actually quite helpful. So you reduce the amount of flame damage they take and then increase the amount they put out if the enemies are within it. Not bad. Usually monster sets are very personal. Might be a heal to somebody else, but the rest of the time it's usually damage output for you or protection for you or whatever. That being a trial buff, as it were, with it being 11 people, that's fucking nuts. I've been watching all the live streams for Bethesda. Apparently it's not just the 3 live streams on the last night for their loot crate drops. If you press your own avatar on Twitch and then go up to the top, and it should say drops on it at any point in time. If you press that, you'll know if they're actually running or not, and you can claim them when they do and don't happen. Cauldron, obviously the new dungeon as well. Light set, max magic, max magic, max magic. Fucking hell. Deal damage to the enemy, applies Ritualist Mark to them for 10 seconds. Enemies with your Ritualist Mark take an additional 16% damage from your summoned pets. Ooh. A pet buffer. Hello. Thank you very much indeed for the bits. That's a very specific bonus as well. That's pet specific bonus. Not all damage. Pets. Nasty. This includes pets that are summoned from other items such as Mad Tinkerer and Defiler. This does not include pet-like effects such as Cliff Racer from the dive ability or Honor from Cold Harbor's favorite. So I would assume that would affect Jeff. If it does, that's mental. Return of the Zeus Orcs. They didn't go anywhere. Medium armor. Thank you for the follow, by the way. Weapon damage, stamina, weapon damage. Adds 492 weapon damage to your area of effect abilities. Spin to win. That's very specific. This set adds weapon to area of effect abilities. Oh, and your heal abilities, such as Vigor or Soothing Spores. Oh, hello. Free, honey. Free bird even. Thank you for the subs. Hugely appreciate 5 gifted subs. Get the fuck in. Do we know when PTS will be playable, or is it just random? It's not random. They don't just go, you know, whenever we feel like it. No, it'll be done when it's done. Major pet build, yeah, of course.
I love winning. Drinks all
pets.
around.
We've got a Dragonborn, by the way.
Dragonborn.
I love winning.
You know the rules, people to fight starts again from scratch. If you kill the Dragonborn, you'll take the place stream and have to kill you instead. That's what I meant with random. No, that's not random. They don't randomly press it. They will press it when it's ready. At the moment, they're still working on it. Paul, how you doing? Welcome to the stream. So, the medium armor set, we've already gone over. That affects heals as well. Obviously, any weapon damage does affect heals anyway. But that's specific, very specific. The heavy set, armor, health. Activate and block while in combat. Places a damage shield on you and 3 other group members within 18 meters for 2 seconds. That's a fucking big area. And absorbs 4k direct damage. If a damage shield breaks, the wearer of the shield restores. Fuck off! Did you see that? Oh my god. Damage shield to the group. Great. That's how I build my tanks anyway. If you've been watching for the last 4 years, you know that, so it's not new. But if a damage shield breaks, the wearer of the shield restores 5, 6, 8, 0 magicka and stamina. This effect can happen once every 30 seconds if a damage shield is broke. This effect can happen once every 10 seconds if no damage shield is broke. That's fucking great. Thank you very much. Hugely appreciated. Beer and cake in the chat. Thank you very much. So that's fucking nuts. The pet set, meh, whatever. This one, we've got Briarheart anyway, who cares? Maybe they'll alter that, because Hype Train, did you win? Hype Train level 1, congratulations. Thank you for the bits, and you got a Dragonborn. Well done.
Dragonborn.
Oh, yeah. It is busy. Doctor, how you doing? Welcome to the stream. Guns and Raiders, and also, how do I say that?
I love
Phobos?
winning. Drinks
Apollo,
all around.
how you doing? It's hard to keep up while I'm reading. Apologies. These are stressful. And it's also my day off, so... yeah. Right, the monster set. Max stamina, max magic, max health on the one piece. That's actually bloody good. Applying a status effect to an enemy grants you a stack of, however the fuck you pronounce that, ambition for 10 seconds. Stacks up to 3 times. When you gain 3 stacks, the stacks are removed, and you gained 3 ultimate. On gaining ultimate, you cannot gain additional stacks for 2 seconds. Say what? When you apply a status effect... okay. So 3 stacks removed, you gain 3 ultimate. That's a lot of work for 3 ultimate. I mean, sure, it's free. But surely Bloodspawn would be better.
Drinks all around.
It's a lot of effort. We'll come back to that. Long Arts Day off. Yeah, I know I was on a Bethesda stream earlier. I've been doing stuff all afternoon. Now I'm here. Even Zion Ninja's there and dreaming, or is this genuinely a live stream at 8 PM? Well, you could look at the clock if you want. Empty Sky, how you doing? Thank you very much. Well, that set looks like they were drunk or typoed it. I mean, maybe that's 30 ultimate, because that would be nuts. If you had a status effect and it lasts for 10 seconds and you stack it 3 times from 3 different status effects and eventually get 30 ultimate and bam, you can't use it again for a few seconds. Sure, great, but that looks a bit pumba. I could just light attack and get that. Yeah, granted they stack, but 3 ultimate on a whole monster set? It's a bit weird. Affecting an enemy grants you... wait a minute. No, it's just for you. It's not for anyone else. Maybe the effect is for other people, but it's not. It looks shit. Moving on. We can't see the dies. We can't really pay attention to the titles because we can't show all that stuff at the moment anyway. Champion point updates. How excited are you for this shit? Oh my god. This update will revamp the entire champion point system and updated the UI and all the stars. Hopefully you can see this. To choose now, when building your character, you'll have more choices than ever before. See the keyword here. Choices. Choices! In a game designed for choice and adaptation. Very unique MMO. Stop trying to pretend it's Warcraft. It's not. Get over it. The goals for this change included several factors. This new system encourages horizontal progression over vertical progression. The new champion system reduces how many passives are on a character at a time, reducing the calculations per combat action. So, performance. You like choice? Good. Lots of people that say they like choice don't want to actually explore choices. They just want to have one way. And then when you have one way, they complain that there aren't any choices. You can't win. Expandability is essential to the health of a character progression, and the revamped champion system has far greater flexibility for expansion in the future. Extra stuff. The Constellations have been renamed from Mage, Warrior, Thief to Warfare, Fitness, and Craft. Thank you for the follow. Constellations have been reduced from 9 to 3, but the variety of stars available to spend points in has greatly increased. The stars are interconnected in a way such that spending enough points to unlock the bonus rewarded from the star will also unlock the path to its connected stars. So kind of like a specification tree, specialization tree. Stars within Constellations are categorized under 2 main types. Non-slottable. These are stars which will give their noted stats and do not need further interaction other than adding the words are fucking hard. The requisite points to activate the stat bonus listed. They use such fucking unusual English here. Why didn't you just say, here's some new slots, they give you passives. Slottable. These are stars which give you their noted stats and must be added to the new champion bar to activate the bonus listed in the star. If you didn't watch the stream last night, basically you've got 12 slots at the top of your screen, and you can fill them with specific buffs that you've unlocked. You can only hold 12 at a time though. So there are passive things, as in non-slottable, and then there are specific slottable bonuses that you can choose to kind of swap in and out as and when. Here's our ninjas. Did you know the patch notes are live? McGio Joe, how you doing? Welcome to the stream. We've already a new champion bar at the top of the champion Constellations UI, or added even. This allows you to slot up to 4 stars for each of the 3 constellations, so blue, green, and red. I blame Gina for the fancy word use. Yeah, probably. She's like, hey, I know you're going to read this on stream. I'm going to fuck you up. Makes your tongue goes upside fucking down while you're trying to read words. None of them flow, do they? They're well put, yes, but for someone like me that just sits there and shouts fuck all day, it's quite tricky. You can swap out any slotted star at any time while not in combat. Rich, how you doing? Welcome to the stream. Mr. Coldy McColdpants in the paddling pool. I saw you. Dude, I had to post that on Twitter. As soon as I saw it and I saw Pete do a fucking swan dive, I was like, how pissed are you? You got balls of steel though, dude. Fuck that. That looks cold. I had to do a water bucket challenge before. Not getting in a whole pool. Fuck that. But welcome to the stream. Who was that with sub? Thank you very much. It was cold? Yeah, I know. What did you say it was? Like -3 degrees or some shit? Fucking madness, dude. That is insane. This is my day off, by the way. Just saying. I've been on Bethesda stream already. 20k followers, though. Look at that. Ha 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 ha. Where were we? Let's go to here. Where? There. You can swap out any sort of star at any time, not in combat. Right. The cost of respeccing your champion points is still 3k gold, so that didn't change. Get ready for this, people. If you didn't watch the stream last night, first of all, you're wrong. Secondly, I'm going to tell you. The CP cap per update has been lifted. Ready? And you can now spend up to 3,000. Thank you very much for the gifted sub. 3,600. Thank you for... Oh, man. Rich, I have a question while you're here. Empty sky. Jesus, shit the bed and threw it against the wall. Thank you very, very much indeed. Beer and cake in that chat, people. Massive sub train there. Thank you very much. -30 outside where I live. I'm assuming that's Fahrenheit. Thanks for amazing sub. Nice. Rich, I have a question. I'm just going to read this bit first, then I'm going to ask the question. So, 3,600 per point cap. Basically, we've adjusted the rate which you gain CP to accommodate for the cap lift. Now, obviously that would mean that champion points are worth X amount of XP per point, so that you can gain them rather than like now, where they're worth millions and it'll take you forever to get them. Does this mean, with that being altered, we've got a sub. Thank you very much. Just look at this one, man. Keep it up. Does this mean that this will continue? I can't even get a word out. Thank you very much. Hugely appreciated, of course, beer and cake in the chat. KSU, 2 silvers and a bronze. Thank you very much. Does this mean that your champion points continuing from what you have now will obviously be at a set rate? Or does that mean that your experience points for champion points across the board is now completely altered? Not just after, but just across the board. Does that mean that when people log in, they will have the same as they had before? Or will they potentially have more champion points to accommodate for each one being worth X amount of XP? Medium armor meta incoming. That is such a stupid comment. You will have what you have. Right. Fair enough. Had to check, because if they were worth X amount of XP each, then technically that would mean them might be more. Any chance we can get Finn to code worthless dungeon drops for Zai? Fuck it. Right, let's move on. I love it how people watch a live stream and then all of a sudden they know everything. The patch notes have literally just been released. No one's tested a thing yet because PTS isn't live. All these genius types on the internet trying to tell you what's what now. They don't know. Now, the fight is over. You kill a fire drake. How sad. You still only earn champion points at level 50 or higher, but as the original CP system, you can spend any you have earned regardless of your level. So you can still make a new character and then use your champion points. All characters have had their base health increased to 16k, up from 8,744. And their magicka and stamina is now 12k, up from 7,958. So flat out, you got 16k health. No excuses. Stop being dead with 8k health. These changes were made to offset the loss of the 20% stat increase gained from the original champion points, where spending 100 points in a tree would increase the base stat of the tree by 20%. Characters now also take 15% reduced damage at base to reduce the loss of mitigation for the champion point system. Characters now also start with 20 weapon and spell damage at level 1 and gain additional 20 per level up to 1,000 at level 50. So you've got base stats now. Health tank, necro, permablock. These are just words. Armor changes. Here we go. So, lots of people complained about this already, but they haven't tried, so what do they know? Now, this is all testing, remember? So, test it. Eventually, once it goes live, we'll get the actual results. Or finished product, if you like. But at the moment, everything is testing. So, stop panicking. If people are doing this for no good reason, where's the button? That? It's not going to get you anywhere. Right, reduces your damage from magic, flame, frost, and shock damage attacks by 1% per piece worn. Okay, reduces the cost of dodge roll by 3% per piece worn, because obviously if you're wearing a dress, you're very nimble. You can move around and do dancing and stuff. You're from the Bethesda channel, Cool Beans. I was on there earlier, yes. Increases the movement speed while sneaking per piece worn. Again, it's aesthetically correct, I guess, because you look like you're wearing a sheet. You should be quite quick with one. Reduce the cost of break free per piece worn. Reduce the cost of bash per piece worn. Penalties. Increases the damage taken from martial or physical, poison, disease, and bleed damage attacks by 1% per piece worn. Of course, that makes sense because, let's face it, if you get stabbed for a dress, you don't have any protection. Increases the cost of blocking per piece worn. Sure, you don't have that kind of chunk behind you to do it. And decreases your damage done with bash by 1% per piece worn as well. So you don't have a lot of weight behind you. You don't have a lot of protection. So physical stuff is going to hurt you like fuck. And the magical stuff will be fine because you're all magical. Why not? Congrats on 20k. Thank you very much. Pretty excited about them. It looks fucking cool, dude. Now, medium armor bonuses. Reduces the cost of sprint per piece worn. Of course, you're quite agile. Reduce the cost of sneak. Intentionally anyway. Obviously, same as before. Reduce the cost of block. Interesting. Reduces the damage taken from area of effect attacks by 2% for 2 seconds after you dodge roll. That's new. Reduce the movement speed. Sorry, increases movement speed while immune to crowd control. Oh, hello. So if you are immune to a particular ability at the time, perhaps you broke free, you get increased movement speed. So I know people are sitting there going, well, they don't have any negatives. Well, they do. You've got really shit resistances for a start. Medium armor, as for most fantasy games, is about evasion. The benefits is your evasion. Your negative is if you get hit, you're fucked. That's it. This potentially obviously got nerfed in terms of its ability to take damage of certain types, but it makes sense. But then it also got buffed in the magical defense side of things, which it kind of technically has in the passives anyway. Looking for a negative and a medium, there is a negative. You can't tank stuff like a tank could. You can't. Who was that? Lee, thank you very much. Hugely appreciated bit and cake in the chat. So this looks like it's across the board kind of the same for magical or physical type of damage, so you're going to take the same amount from both. This one is actually stronger against magic than this is, and this one's stronger against physical than this is. So this is kind of your mid area, hence it being medium. But again, your evasion is your bonus. You don't have the big magical damage shields, you don't have the big chunky health and resistances, it's dodge roll or die. But if you do dodge roll, you benefit, which is quite nice. The arm is perfect, no penalties. You didn't hear a word I just said, did you? Reduces damage taken from martial attacks by 1% per piece worn. So physical damage types are going to not affect you as much as it would someone else. Thank you for the sub. Hang on. Lord Warden, you're a legend. Thank you very much. Increase the amount of damage blocked 1% by 1% per piece worn. So that's a block bonus, which you didn't have before.
I love winnings. Drinks all around.
Thank you very much. Increases damage done with bash. Obviously, you're quite heavy, so you can bash people in the face more. And reduces damage taken while immune to crowd.
I love winnings. Drinks all around.
While you're immune to crowd control effects, per piece worn, you take 2% less damage. Oh, that's quite nice. So if you have immovable on, you take a fuck ton less damage. I'm assuming martial is physical. Likes, you're going to have to try and keep up. I did already go over that. I explained it. I even read it out right here. There's a lot of people in the chat. There's lots of questions, obviously, but I am reading it live. I'm not going to keep going back over it. Didn't hear a word. What were the words, Precious? Shut up! Okay, the above changes were done to help increase the effect of armor plays on your build by augmenting your core mechanics, such as break free, dodge roll, and sprint in ways that are not already apparent in their parad. How the fuck is that? Weird words. See, I told you, choice of words. Additionally, the rock, paper, scissors effect that armor was originally meant to follow should have more sharp effects in PvP situations, where light armor is stronger versus heavy, but weaker versus medium, and heavy is stronger versus medium. So it's a balance thing. It's in the... Sorry, my browser's been breaking up. Yeah, it's going to be a long night, dude. Don't worry. Just try and keep up.
I love winnings. Drinks all around.
So the balance is there. They've done that on purpose so that certain types of play warrant certain types of armor, and don't forget you can still mix them a little bit. For example, light armor has much more freedom with most of its stamina cost, but is less effective with outright soaking damage. So you're very nimble, you're very maneuverable in light armor now, but if you get slapped in the face, you're fucked. Heavy armor is now slower but bulkier, as it should be, because you're a big, chunky, tanky motherfucker, and you should take loads of damage, but you should be quite slow. And medium armor is more slippery, but with less sharp bonuses, as it has no drawbacks. See? Balance. Evasion, chunkiness, and then all of the above. Anyone else ordered last night? Probably. Chunk? All armor passives now scale per piece of armor equipped, rather than some of them granting bonuses while wearing 5 pieces or more. Oh, that changes the fucking game. Racial bonuses will be added to the base stats, I reckon. Let me get there. Light armor, concentration. This passive now grants you 469 to 939 spell penetration per piece worn, rather than a flat out 4884 when wearing 5 pieces or more. So, the more pieces you wear, the better, but you don't have to wear 5. So you could be kind of cheeky about it. So a couple of medium, a couple of heavy, and 3 light. Some shit like that. And not be in a full-out negative. Prodigy passive now gives 0.5 to 1% crit chance per piece worn, rather than 10% for wearing 5 pieces or more. That's a slight reduction. Increase the amount of spell resistance granted per rank, up from what it was before. So it was up to that, up from that. Okay, so that's higher. Fair enough. Thank you for the host. Much appreciated. How's it going? Reading stuff, Zero. How you doing? Easier to use Ring of Malakath now. It's easy to use anyway, but, well, it's funny. Medium, agility. This passive now grants 2% weapon damage per piece of medium armor worn, rather than 15% for wearing 5 pieces. So if you do go 7 medium, you'll get a 14% bonus. If you do go less than that, you will get less. Which, again, doesn't mean you have to wear 5 pieces, or 7. You could wear 3. Dexterity, decrease the amount of weapon crit granted per piece, down from 1.5 per piece. What we do, wrap them in. And this passive now increases your healing taken by 1% for every 2 or 1 pieces of heavy armor, rather than 4 to 8. Ahaha. When wearing 5 pieces. So, again, nice bonus. Slightly altered, but you don't need 5 pieces. So you could take that bonus wearing mostly light armor. You can get some of that, which is not a bad thing. If you are using 511, I mean, you've got benefits from all sides. So, decrease the amount of armor granted per piece of heavy armor worn, down from... Okay, so it's gone for 343, down from 363. That's not too bad. It's not a massive drop. But again, you don't need 5 pieces, which is quite nice. Revitalize the passives now increases the resources restored from your fully charged heavy attacks by 2% to 4% per piece of heavy armor worn, rather than 25% when wearing 5 pieces or more. So again, slight reduction overall, unless you go really, really high into it. So 7 out of that would be quite a bit more, actually, about 3% more. It's not bad. I mean, they're balanced them quite well in that respect. They haven't really completely nuked anything. They haven't over-buffed anything, but they have given you that freedom to just kind of mix and match any armor you want now, rather than being restricted to that 5-piece requirement. Because that is, let's face it, why you picked the armor types in the past. It was for the 5-piece bonuses. And now you don't need it. Interesting. Okay, advanced sets. You can now view... stats, sorry. This is in your character stat sheet. Because I did a Mississippi rework discussion. I'm going through it. You'll have to keep up. The removal of 5 pieces is the best part of all. It's really good. You can now view additional combat stats in your character sheet by selecting advanced stats. So for those of you that like loads of add-ons, with loads of shiny stuff, it shows your pen and all that kind of stuff. Well, you're going to be able to see this stuff here. This includes a variety of additional offensive and defensive and utility bonuses that your character currently has based on their equipment, buffs, debuffs, skills, and champion point. Additionally, physical and spell penetration have been added to the main stats view as well. So, for anyone that's on PC and doesn't want to use add-ons, you've got this added to the game. Anyone that is on console, we didn't have add-ons, you've obviously got it added to the game, so that helps a lot. If you're trying to figure out what stats you do and don't need to bring to your group based on what everyone else has already got, you can start balancing that out, rather than just getting a calculator out and thinking you've got it right. Fast travel outside of homes. There are many reasons to visit your lovely home, but sometimes you just want to use it as a handy fast travel point. For times like those, you can now select travel to outside option when traveling to any of your homes, and it will take you right outside the front door without any extra load screens. You can, of course, still travel straight inside as before with the travel to inside option. What the hell? How cool is that? They listened to Zyvote fast travel? I think they did. Dear oh dear, that's fucking good. Furnishing a Houseguests preview improvements. You can now preview furnishings and furnishing plans directly from your inventory. Good, because you couldn't do that properly and that was a pain in the ass. No more guesswork when deciding whether to load a plan. In addition, Houseguests previews on the Crown Store now include a section of voice lines so you can get a better sense of their overall identity. So you don't waste crowns on something you don't like once you've already bought it. You can actually just test it out. 2 new homes. Obviously, we can't see those, so we won't go into those. Although, Aelid Ruins, hello. Furnishing stuff. Again, we don't have any visuals for those until we get onto the PTS, so can't go into that. So we get to skip a section. Furnishing stuff. Obviously, I'm going to put this in the chat, actually. If you want to read up on those specifics, there's the link. But I'm not going to go over that because, again, a lot of this is visual. I'd prefer to show you that stuff rather than read it because it's just words. Battleground Collectibles.
I love winning.
New Antiquities. Thank you very much. There's a new antiquity to find in Western Skyrim. It's a unique map, much like the other zones. Is there any gear? No. System mail deletion and organization changes. Beginning with this update, system mails will now remain your inbox for a limited time, after which they will be deleted. This mirrors the current behavior of player-sent mail. Mail sent by NPCs, Highlands, mails containing collectors' additional rewards. Thank you very much. Mail sent for completing PvP activities. Mail sent from completing random dungeon queues. You can see all this here. When this update launches, all system mails you currently have in your inbox will be given a 30-day timer. When the timer gets close to running out, the mail will be highlighted in red text and an iconography to indicate it will soon expire. When a system's mail time expires, the mail and any items or gold that may be attached to it will be deleted. So you have a secretary built into the game. We be going on PTS today. 0, please be patient. No update on the PS5 boost update. Nope, not yet. There's a new prologue quest, by the way. That's exciting. Let's see. From this PTS cycle, we're supplying 2 character templates, Flames of Ambition, maximum level, and level 25 Flames of Ambition. Both templates start you in Deshaan. Fair enough. So you've got that for the standard PTS stuff. They're probably going to have their own bugs that they're aware of at the moment, but you're going to have to deal with those. When can we expect you to redo every single build for the new CP and ARM system? You're going to have to be really patient. Do you know the patch isn't even live yet? Did you? You won't be seeing any build updates from me until everything is real, because I don't like bullshit videos. So if it's not out yet and it's just on PTS, you might see live updates of me showing you kind of how we are so far, but you will not get any build updates whatsoever for the new patch until the new patch is actually live on real servers. However, Murder of Fire for Markarth is ready, and that will be released tomorrow. You've still got a month's worth of play with it before anything changes, so enjoy when that comes out. Champion point start, Master Shield is not properly applying to Crystallized Shield, Sun Shield, or their mods. Okay, fine. Tooltips in the champion system are still under adjustments, and many will currently display information that is not entirely encompassing their effect, may be mislabeled, or will not update their values in real time. This will be fixed in future PTS patch and is a priority. Again, don't go out there making loads of fucking complaints on the forum going, "It's not working properly." They know about that. Borderline Tron is limit. Yeah, it does. Some champion star tooltips are not reporting their total bonus. To verify stats gains from CP this week, please refer to your character sheet or advanced stats. So if you are looking at something that does affect your character, go to the stats, not the champion point node, because it's not showing properly. Some champion point stars may be difficult or impossible to interact with based on your screen resolution. Interesting. Apart from that, basic stuff they already know about. MagDK. Everything's got to be done. You can all shout build names all you like. They've all got to be done. Every single fucking one of them. Since the champion point is getting fucking gutted and replaced, and loads of other stuff is changing too, it's got to be done. All my builds need updating. So yes, I'm aware of how much work I've got to do on top of what I've already got. I'm already topping 100 hours a week, so I'm fucked. What have we got here? Group of contents and fixes and bits and pieces. This is very subjective or relative to the player. that is in the content. So we're not going to go for every single one of these. You can read the bug fixes in your own time. Unless I find something really, really important. What? Forgotten Dead Eyes. Reduce the overall health of these enemies. You nerfed it! Don't keep making these easier to kill. Reduce the radius and knockback distance of Icy Salvo. Grapple will now be used less often. Why did you do that? Chilling Comet now has an increased number of safe platforms. Why? Stop it! Reduce the number of additional monsters during this fight. No, don't fucking do that. Oh my god. Okay, this is where I've got to be really calm and collective and just deal with how things are, right? This is called sucking it up. I made a guide for it. People learn how to do it. And that's great. I understand, based on stuff in the past, I understand that there is a fucking tiny percentage of the overall Elder Scrolls Online community that can do this stuff. So I appreciate it, and I understand why you're doing it. It does make sense. But also, fuck you.
I love winning.
Oh,
Drinks all
man.
around.
Fair enough. Lots more people to get it done. It is what it is. But I want to do grapple less. Why are they touching my best dungeon? Grapple is annoyed. Of course it is. The fire event phases will now occur at more reliable intervals.
Drinks all around.
Increase the warm-up period to allow more reaction time. You've made the boss much, much easier when it's already got some very, very solid get it wrong and you're fucked mechanics. So it was already quite handholdy. But again, I appreciate the fact that lots of people struggle with it. So obviously you have to tone down the difficulty for the majority. But still. Practice. Will you have to redo all of your merch video? Will you not? My merch? Doing mechanic videos? No. Mechanic videos haven't been fucked up. This has been slightly altered. That doesn't make a shit's bit of difference. The mechanics are still the same. There's just less enemies. How you doing? Welcome to the stream. So, what can you do? Decrease the duration of the vent portion, but drastically reduce damage of the ability to no longer progress to causing death in normal mode. Okay, fair enough. Imperial City Prison. Please don't break this!
Drinks all around.
Falling through the portal no longer requires a synergy. I know! I'm losing faith. I'm losing a little bit of faith. I know, again, I'll repeat this, that there's a fucking tiny percentage of the community as a whole that can do these dungeons. But the mechanics are there to be learnt and to complete. So the better you get at it, the better results you get. And I teach people to do this every day, and they succeed. Pressing a synergy down a well, when it says, press me now, is not fucking hard. I don't think that was necessary. Easy mode now, granted. But whatever. I mean, at least that isn't going to happen anymore. Some mechanics do need to be altered because some of them are really fucking hard. This, I think, should be put to the bottom of the pile. I don't think that's a priority. So I do play on console or PC. I play on every single server. All 6 of them, including that one. What the hell? It's not that hard to press 2 buttons. Difficulty is all dependent on the player, granted. I mean, some people can do the simple stuff, some people can do the hard stuff, some people are in the middle. But pressing a synergy on the way down, on a dungeon that was out on the first DLC, you got bigger problems than that. But okay, I mean, now you don't have to interact with it. It takes that bit out of the situation. The game doesn't now have to read whether you did or didn't input a button, so I guess performance-wise that helps. Damn it. Anyway, I'm on 2 sides of this one. Because on one side, I get it. On the other side, I think it's unnecessary. Anyway, moving on. Vatashran Hollows. Corrected several typos in the Crushing Disappointment achievement. Thank you for the follow. Essence and Remnants effects will now be reapplied should you leave and return to a saved version. So this was bugged. If you've seen this in the past already, or if you see it in the future before this patch lands, you can go back into there and you can find that your buffs have disappeared. The way to fix this is to leave. And if you look at the Way Shrine, there'll be a timer on it, which is basically gold cost, okay? And once it goes to about under 500 or so, travel back in. You don't have to do it that way. You can do it from free, obviously, from a Way Shrine, but just check the gold amount if you're doing it just hovering over the map. That will be reset. The dungeon itself, or the arena itself, will still be yours. It will still be at the same state, but all the fluff will be reset, so your buffs will be back. But yeah, they fixed that, so that's good. Your character will no longer receive 2 versions of the hunting speed effect if it's used in powered grapple quickly between a wall mount and a floor standing post. Edelin will no longer appear in multiple places at once. Reduce the health of enemies which have been empowered after completing the first arena. No! Why? Is I streaming ninjas? How you doing? Right, dude, they did the same thing with Warcraft back in 2009 and made all heroics easy mode instead of forcing them people to learn. Well, altering some mechanics to make them a bit easier because the collective overall community has issues with them. If it is a constant problem, it makes sense, sure. But there's some things that are unnecessary. Reducing the health of the enemies. You know what this is going to do? It's still going to separate people because it's going to be even quicker now for the elite people to do it. And it's going to feel too easy for the people that were struggling really hard with it. Watching the design is so losing sanity. Thank you very much. Remember when I told you that things can change and you just don't expect it? Or when PTS comes out and I say don't change anything on your builds yet until everything is live because things can change very quickly? We've got a patch that's been out for ages and already the shit's changing dramatically. So there you go. Veteran is now normal mode. No, not necessarily. I mean, it's still going to hit as hard and it depends on how much they've reduced it by because it's very vague. Most of this is bug fixes, obviously, but this reduced health of enemies after completing the first arena. This is just going to be a lot faster. Brimstone Den. Lava in Brimstone Den now deals more damage. Thank you very much. Oh, we're getting lag. Get in. Hugely appreciate, of course. Bit and cake in the chat. You take more damage from lava. In addition, damage can no longer be avoided by sprinting or jumping. Fuck you! Bastards. I do that. I go boing, 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 and it can't get me. Brimstone orbs, well, excuse me, I got crap in my eyes, will no longer be available, and hey, thank you very much. What's up, Ninja? Welcome to the stream, dude. Thank you very much indeed for the resub. I have guildmates who aren't very good, but still enjoy their
I love winnings. Drinks
in
all
harder
around.
content. Yeah, of course, because it's a challenge. You have a guild I can join. Yes, I have a guild on every single server, so put guild in the chat, all the information's there. Right, so lava obviously does more damage and you can't boing, boing, boing out of it anymore. Great, whatever. I'm not mad about that. It's just a bit annoying. But I get why you did it, so fine. Thank you for the bits. So I don't know about you, but reveal was kind of disappointing. No, I'm actually really excited about it. Besides companion and a new zone with story, nothing new added to the game. Everything else was mentioned were quality of life changes that the game just needed. We've been waiting for champion points for a really, really long time. That's an enhancement in itself. It's gonna be fucking mega. Okay, Magma Queen. Orbs will no longer be available and venturing too far into the lava will be fatal until after the Magma Queen is defeated. Your character will no longer disappear when using a Brimstone Orb while affected by the Living Dark ability. Way Shrining before the Pylord will no longer have a chance to send you to his platform. Okay, so bug fixes, whatever. Hunter's Grotto. The telegraph for the Bristleback Gatekeeper's Thrash ability will no longer persist after the ability has ended. That one you can't interrupt the first one, it's bugged. The Shade of Grove encounter no longer has a chance to reset in situations. Good, because that was annoying. Please do not skip ahead of the stream section of the patch notes that have been read already. Zai is trying. Zai is there. Be patient. Abuse will be timed out. Correct. Don't go ahead of me. I'm reading it live. If that's confusing, look at the stream. I'm reading
all
it. Around. Void Eruption ability Telegraph now covers the entire central island. Updated the timings of the VO during the final boss encounter. Added additional sound effects. Blah 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 blah. Reduced the health from the Void Rot, Void Mages, Void Archers, and Shade Colossus. Not necessary. We'll see how much by, but I don't think that's necessary. No, it's not easy, but it's not designed to be. It's supposed to challenge you in a solo situation. With practice, it is literally just mechanics. And I think this has been possibly dumbed down too much, but we'll have to see. I mean, it depends on how much they reduced it by. If they reduce it by like a couple 100k, whoopie-doo. If they reduced it by a substantial amount, like 20, 30, 40%, then I'd be pissed. But we'll see. We're not going into that. Fair easy mode. Again, it depends. Halls of Fabrication, Assembly General, Toxic Coolant, and Seeker projectiles will now correctly do increased damage to players affected by exhaustion and extreme exhaustion. Fair enough. Orbs of Torment no longer leave a usable corpse when the effect ends. Where's it gone? Yeah, so when it's gone, it's gone. Moonhunter Keep. Man, these have all been affected. Fuck. Direwolves. Increase the range on the abilities to account for their larger size. Fair enough. Increase the damage of lunge, but it no longer hits the target in an arc, nor causes a bleed. Okay, so it's a crack to the face. Whatever. Increase the damage and reduce the arc of Nip ability. Nip no longer causes a bleed. Nash no longer hits targets in an arc. Increase the damage of Bite. Bite no longer has an interruptible telegraph and is used less frequently. Okay, so there's something I'm not completely mad about. I mean, the bleed probably wasn't necessary. It was quite nice to have a healer being quite active and keeping up, what's the word for it? Cleansers and shit. Made him a little bit more active. But whatever, I mean, the damage is increased. You got to be more careful. Vicious Direwolves. All Direwolf ability changes above have been applied to Vicious Direwolves, excluding the change to Lunge. Reduce the arc of Dire Lunge. The bleed, the arc was okay, to be honest. The bleed from Dire Lunge is now only applied to targets which are not blocking. Oh. So if you miss the block, you get the bleed. Interesting. Base mechanic pusher there, not too bad. Always a link to the patch notes. You could just Google it, to be fair. It's there. There you go. I mean, I am reading it, and you've come to watch me read it or listen to me read it. If you want to go read them yourself, you probably should have done that already. I'm trolling you, don't worry. It's in the chat. Assassinate will no longer affect targets in an arc, because it sounds like I should hit one person. Thank you for the follow. Thank you for the bits. Cleavers. Added a telegraph for heavy swipe, which will now also affect targets in an arc. Quick strike no longer affects targets in an arc. There's a lot of fucking changes here. Greatly reduce the damage done by Devastating Leap. That fucking hurts, by the way. So, whatever. Increases the cast time of Devastating Leap, obviously, so people can have more time to go, oh, and see what's going on. Reduce the arc slash, which is now also used less often, so you get hit by it. Not as much as you did before. Spriggans. Increase the cast time and cooldown of Transmogrify. That's Danger Mouse. And it can no longer be chain cast. Oh! This taught people to interrupt. This taught people to pay attention to mechanics, and now you've slowed it down and made people feel stupid. Wolfhunter got casual as fuck. Well, some of it's quite harsh, like these big hits, but then they are alleviable fucking situations where you can just go, hey, I can do basic mechanics and I'll be fine. Yes, I'm making up words. Stranglers. Increase the damage on grapple. Fair. That one doesn't do too much damage, and to be fair, I have sat in that fucking grapple for about 10-15 seconds before it's let me go and kill me, whilst people aren't interrupting it. So that gives you a little bit more quick do it, which is fine. I'm going to eat my own words now after reading this, aren't I? Grapple is now applied when cast. Though affected targets can now break free from this attack after being pulled in by a strangler. Interrupting the ability before the target is pulled to the strangler. Oh my god! Let me read that again, just in case I overthought it. Affected targets can now break free from this attack after being pulled to the strangler. So the person who is caught in it can break themselves out. That has stopped your group working together.
I love winnings. Drinks all around.
Dear oh dear. Again, unnecessary. Rip team play. What this has done is this has... Oh, man. They've realised... Congrats on 20k followers. Thank you very much. They've realised that the main problem is your teammates are not helping you. So they've made it so basically like, fuck it, I can do it myself. This change here is, fuck it, I'll do it myself. I mean, sure, in my own part, because that's a benefit. But that's a bit annoying. Reduce the damage and knockback distance of slam. Is what it is. They're fucking huge anyway. Increase the damage of swipe. Good. Teach your tanks not to spin it on the fucking group. Swipe no longer affects in a target in an arc. Well, that's fucking useless anyway. Then. So the damage has been increased, teaching people not to face the group, but the area of effect isn't there anymore, so it doesn't matter. Okay, so you just need to be a chunkier tank. Reduce the effectiveness of the applied defile and snare from swipe. meh. No one really notices that anyway, because to be fair, if you die to the hit, not necessarily the after effect. A cursed werewolf. Reduce the overall damage of accursed werewolves. Reduce the buff applied to allies. Damage done from blood scent. I'm on the fence with that one. Jailer, he's the first one, isn't he? Increase the damage and cooldown of Bloody Cleave. Blood Cleave no longer causes a bleed effect. Bloody Cleave no longer causes bleed. Blood. Bleed. Okay. Slash no causes bleed to no longer affects target in an arc. They've taken away a lot of AoE, which is unusual. Do they do it because people pug for crystals and DLCs are often impossible because people just want crystals not to learn mechanics? No, you can still want crystals and do mechanics. It's just that in general, there's a huge amount of the community that don't do dungeons, and if they do, they don't have very successful runs. Area of Effect now moves slower, will no longer damage targets multiple times, and do reduced damage. So this... it's because of achievements being really difficult. Reduce the snare effect of targets hit, and the snare effect is now displayed on your active effects. Okay, so good to know that you can see it. Increase the initial damage of the AoE. This ability no longer used... Sorry, this ability is now used less often. So it's a slower fight. Slightly more damage from this. More time to move out of the way. It's slowing the process down. Most of this is giving you time to think. But the content is 2 years old. I mean, if you're brand new to it, sure, it's fucking scary. But if you played it hundreds of times, you already got used to it. If you're normal, very viable to just muddle through without no mechanics. So it depends. Pepper, thank you very much. The geysers will now only target one player in normal mode. Reduce damage and increase the interrupt window of Bloody X. Oh, man. See, I can see what this is doing. Right. Two sides of the coin here. One side, they are catering for a much, much larger proportion of the community, which I do support. Fair enough. I can understand that you want more people to do this. But at the same time, it feels like you're treating people like they're idiots. Some people do struggle in them. Some people don't, granted. But I feel like you're slowing it down too much. I think people just need to practice a little bit more, because some of it can slow down in your mind once you are clearer about what the mechanics are. We'll see how it works. I mean, it might be a benefit overall. Your pugs might get a lot easier because people can pick up the mechanics faster with it being slower for them. But it's a weird one. Nick, how you doing? Welcome to the stream. Blade Execution will now be used less often, and the animations will now reliably play for all players. Okay, that is a benefit because that should show, and sometimes it doesn't. Mac Attack, thank you for the follow. Bloodwolf Bloodcallers will now do less damage on normal mode. Okay, fair enough. Normal mode's normal anyway, whatever. Reduce the damage of Crush and Leap.
I love winning.
Depends on how much. That hits hard. Normal dungeons group, this will be too easy. Pug groups will be more successful. Potentially, yes, but you don't want to hand it to people.
I love winning. Drinks all around.
The whole point of something having a difficulty is to make sure that it takes practice and time and effort. If you're just going to hand it to them first time, they don't feel any sense of achievement. Or they get too cocky and think they're too good. You have to be careful. It's a hard balance to gauge. Big guys in Bloody Execution on normal mode specific as well. Yeah, it is. But it's still,
I love winning.
it's a pain in the ass. Because why would you need to? On Vet, you can still... Yeah, but there's an achievement also, by the way. The achievement can be done on normal. You don't have to do it on Vet.
I love winning. Drinks all around.
It's not that bad, in all honesty. I mean, the main ads hit really fucking hard. But the boss, especially on normal...
Drinks all around.
Moving on. Thank you for the follows, by the way. Most people, from what I've seen, just try to tank and spank a dungeon without knowing mechanics, and when things get tough, they die. Yeah. Who was that? Someone made a Rocks collectible suggestion. Nice. We'll go check that out in a bit. What you're saying there is still going to happen, though, because they made it even easier. The difference between normal and vet hard mode in DLCs is incredible. Sometimes would rather have the normals be made a little bit more difficult to prepare me for better for vet hard modes. Correct. Normal is too easy for most things as it is. You can literally go in there with 4 DPSs that haven't got a fucking clue and still be quite successful. Versus, obviously, vet, which is a lot harder. Nuking some of the normal mode stuff is not necessary. Nuking some of the vet stuff isn't necessary, but this is quite a large alteration to something that really doesn't, in my opinion, seem to be a problem from my own experience. But then again, they're the ones with the notes and the stats and all that kind of stuff, so they know how bad this is or isn't on a technical standpoint, on a vast scale, if you like, because they get to see it. But again, I I honestly don't think there's any point in attacking normal modes like this kind of stuff. But the vet stuff, I mean, some of this is good, some of this is bad. So enemies' health and damage reduced in dungeons. Some dungeons, and they increase the base health for all players. Yeah, indeed. Hedge Maze. Oh, here we go. Root Stomp. Enemies can no longer be targeted if they are affected by the Strangler's grapple ability, and Stranglers can no longer use their grapple ability of players affected by Root Stomp. So you can't be hit while you're being pinned. That can be abused. Root Stomp will now be used less often. Reduce the damage of Root Stomp in normal mode. Why? It doesn't hit that hard.
Drinks all around.
Thank you for the follow. On normal, it doesn't hit that hard. Vet, I mean, if you don't dodge or block it, you're fucked. But normal, why? This boss will no longer attempt to cast Root Stomp multiple times in a row if no target is found. Reduce the duration of Root Stomp. Reduce the damage of Thorn Toss, and the damage will now better match a Telegraph. This is intermediate difficulty. No normal. Who was that? Rad lady with a rocks collectible. Thank you very much. Thank you for grabbing your rocks. Very good to see you. British Sloth, how you doing? Welcome to the stream. Big White Wolf. Light and Rage will no longer be used in normal difficulty. Okay, whatever. Not necessary, but fine. I mean, it's... Dr. Brand, thank you very much. Alpha Rage no longer affects multiple targets.
Drinks all around.
What? So, multiple... That's silly. Increase the initial damage and the time to interrupt Alpha Rage. So, the damage has gone up, but the interruption phase is longer. So, for people to go, interrupt? I'm not trying to be a dick. It happens. I literally watch people just sit there looking at it going, oh, look, pretty flashes. Just created rocks. Thank you very much, Muggle. Doesn't highlight the fact that not all games are for all people. Some people I play with just don't seem to improve despite being 8-10. Like, she didn't even hear me. I was speaking from that point of view that I get why they're doing it for some things, but on some of these, I think they're nitpicky and unnecessary. I think there's other things in the game that are more important than some of these mechanics.
I love winnings. Drinks all around.
You are literally talking to someone that teaches people for a living. Some of this is stuff that doesn't necessarily need to be a high priority, in my opinion. We'll see, though. Thank you for the follows. Must be something we haven't seen that balances more than current CP tree. Maybe. Current CP tree is OP. Yeah, definitely. Shred now does reduce damage. I mean, this boss does hit fucking hard, so I'm not too mad that she's getting stuff reduced. But instead of reducing the time it takes to interrupt... instead of extending the time it takes to interrupt something, I think you should just make people more aware that interrupt is a thing. You learn it at level fucking 1 to 3, and then forget about it. That's on the player. That's... People need to pay more attention to basic mechanics when it comes to stuff like that. But granted, I mean, with it being a longer duration, hopefully it'll be a bit more achievable for most. I'm not going to say it's necessarily a bad thing overall. This is going to help people. But I do also think that sometimes you can be a little too hand-holdy and give people stuff when they should just do it themselves. That is a hard fight. I'm not going to lie, that is a really tough fight.
Drinks all around.
But most people know when the dog jumps and you have to interrupt and all that good stuff, it's time to do it or die. And taking that out of the situation can make people a little lazy. You have to be careful. The balance is tricky. Reduce the buff effects on mines from Prodding Shock. Reduce the damage from Lightning Storm, which will now be cast less often. This one I'm not totally mad about, because I will admit this hits fucking hard. Probably too hard. So, out of all the changes so far for this particular section, I think that one's probably the most valid. That one's quite an ass-kicking fucking mechanic. They have much change in PvP. We're getting there. We're getting through it. Force Pulse interrupt easy OP. Only if you've got it on your bar, dude. If you're in there with 4 staminers, who's going to put Force Pulse on? Ah, think about it. Just bash. You don't even need to make it complicated. Just bash the target. I have no idea what the dungeons are next, but I will wait for Zai to get there. We're getting there. Random question. What happened to last year's 2 people mounts? They're not out yet. Increase the damage from shock. Oh, this is the Archivist. Increase the damage from shock. Sure, that wasn't very strong. Shock will no longer bounce, and you will only affect a single target. Reduce the damage from shock blast, which no longer affects targets outside of the telegraph radius. Shouldn't do anyway. Reduce the damage from werewolves added to the fight. Good, because they do hit fucking hard. I will admit that one. Valkyrie, thank you very much. Swipe will no longer stack infected wound and major file when multiple enemies are hit. Removed the extra damage bonus from monsters that transform into werewolf behemoths. So that's going to make people survive longer in the fight, but it's not going to alleviate the issue with the runes. So,
I love winning.
thank you for the
Drinks
follows.
all around.
I don't think this one is game breaking. As far as balance is concerned, I think this is still fine. They do hit fucking hard. Most of the time, people aren't dying to the ads. Most of the time, they're dying to the runes anyway. So this will keep your group alive a bit longer if they are having issues with that. But you'll still have to see the dangerous shit. Some of it does, in my opinion, it does hit a bit hard. Probably too hard. I mean, you have to be quite a chunky fucking tank to take a lot of it. One of these damage changes are a result of the CP changes. I would say most probably yes. But we also have damage mitigation bonuses to the CP changes, to the character changes as well. We've got a 15% reduction. Plus we've also got like 16k health at base. So it is all a balancing thing in some way or another, but some of it I think is unnecessary. Across werewolves now have less health and do less damage. These fuckers are deadly. They do hit really hard. Increase the damage of Claw Slash. Sure. Claw Slash no longer causes a bleed effect and no longer affects the targets in an arc. The AoE application to that being removed, not too mad about. Removing the bleed effect, I mean, that was kind of high pressure. Healers really had to show off doing that during that phase. I don't think the bleed removal was necessary. Reduce the damage of... I can never pronounce their names. Ari and Zell? Is that Ari? Is that how you say that? Pounce and lunge abilities. That is fucking one shot, so there's no doubt they were going to fucking change that. Lunge ability no longer causes a bleed effect. Fair enough, whatever. You will no longer have a chance to become locked in combat prior to that encounter starting. That one I haven't actually seen, but whatever. This one isn't too bad.
I love winnings. Drinks all around.
Thank you for the follow. Interesting, should be useful for people doing solo runs. What, with this? Well, they're not designed for solo anyway, so if you are doing it, it's kind of your funeral before you even start. If you can do it, great. If you can't, well, you're not meant to. This isn't too bad. This overall is a little bit of what I would call a fair balance for that fight. Some of the damage is increased from certain hits, making the fight a bit tougher. Some of the bleed is gone, which I don't strictly like because it negates some of the healers kind of heal over time stuff. But I get why they're doing it because it is a bit of a pain in the ass.
I love winnings. Drinks all around.
This isn't too bad. This one, though, I mean, some of this is a bit pumba. This definitely is the first boss in here. That's unnecessary. Frostbolt. Oh my god, everyone's praising for fucking Frostbolt now.
I love
Lovely builds. Thank you very much, dude. Much appreciated. Thank you for the follows, by the way. We're fucking smashing it today. Okay, Zovgin. I never say his name right. Zogvin. I always get it the wrong way around. Will now use fire jump ability less often. Whoopie-doo. Will now summon one less goblin when using fire jump. Why? Reduce the duration and damage of fire pit portion of the fire jump. That bit, thank you very much indeed for the follow. This bit here, stand in a circle, keep your heals up, keep hitting the boss. Very simple. But the reason people die, I don't think is because of the damage coming out of it. I think it's because people keep stacking on top of each other and they shouldn't. If you have a healer constantly healing throughout this phase, you're fine. So, a little hand-holding. But, I mean, it's going to help more groups pass it by default without needing to try too hard, depending on how much they do. Hope they removed the mouse maze thing. No, they're not going to remove that. It's fucking epic. That's a mechanic in total. That's a whole phase. Reduce duration of stun when landing. Break free, you're fine. Reduce the amount of times fire jump could fail to cast. That is annoying when you see him kind of dummy do stuff and it doesn't happen, so fair enough. Reckless charge now has a minimum distance he will charge. Reduce the damage from reckless charge against the charged target and the area of effects created by the ability. Reduce the damage of heat field in veteran mode. Raging winds now moves slower. This one isn't too bad. I'm fine with it, but I know not everybody is, and it can catch you rather quick. So, of all this is the only one I agree with. I think that's necessary. All this stuff is a learn to play issue, unfortunately. And that's me being realistic. This I'm happy with, though. Okay. Vault Protector. Here we go. Taser face. Vault Protector will now travel to the center of the room to activate the shield. I'm happy about that one. See, this is what happens when you have an honest person. They will tell you what they like and dislike, rather than just going into gang shapes and shout and bro all the time. That boss has an issue. If your tank holds the boss in the corner and he sits down when you don't want him to, the lasers will go across the room, and the other one will come across the room, and you can end up having this in the corner. You have a crossover. That's a problem, because you can't go nowhere. With the boss by default going into the middle of the room,
I love winnings.
it does
Drinks all around.
it does alter the tank's job a little bit, but it does make sure that that mechanic is always controlled. And let's face it, that is supposed to be designed for that to be happening. You're supposed to be able to avoid the lasers, and there are ways to make it so that you've got no choice. So that one, I'm not too mad about. I actually think that's a good idea. Siren Ray will more reliably be affected by the Vault Protector Shield. Siren Ray can now be dodged and jumped over. Now, I've done this on a stream before. Someone asked me the other day, they said, can you dodge it or can you jump it? I said, I'm going to argue with this slightly. I'm going to say technically no, you're not supposed to, but I have rolled under one and jumped over another on live stream once before. But now you can actually do it. So, interesting. This is going to stop the Pug Killer itself. Maybe more people will pass it. Siren Rays will now have a short activation time so you can react more easily before they start moving. You're slowing stuff down again. That's too hand-holdy. The mechanics are clear. It just takes time to get used to it. This here, I like. Why? Because something is above the ground and you can dodge under it, so you should be able to. It is medium height. You can physically jump that high, so being able to jump over it is good. Also, that's a very interesting way to look at it, because most mechanics are lock-on. You can't actually jump over things. You can't jump over an AoE, for example. If it's on a circle on the ground and you jump over it, you still technically go through it. That's different. So, the amount of people that try and dodge under it or jump over it, it's about time they added that, to be fair. Before it relied on the tick of the laser if you were able to dodge it or not. But not always. It was a bit buggy. Serum Rays will now have a short activation. I've read that one already. Shield now takes longer before doing damage to any player character standing within it. Don't stand in it anyway. Steel Cyclone no longer applies stacks of bleeds damage, and the bleed can be purged. Okay, Purging Bleeds is something that you get taught, so sure. Reduce the cone size of the axe ability, not necessary. Dwarven Spiders now do less damage. They are not the problem. They are no longer immune to crowd control abilities, and their static field ability is reduced in effectiveness. Crowd control, sure. Less damage, not necessary. This one, do hemispheres now do less damage and are no longer immune to crowd control abilities and no longer use the steam wall ability. So, on one hand, you fixed it by reducing their damage amount. Great, because they did hit way too fucking hard. If you didn't have 18k health and you're around 15, 16, you had to make sure you had AoE reduction or a resistance buff on. Otherwise, you would take one shot. So, that starts off doing well. That makes a little bit of sense because you didn't have a lot of alleviation in there or a lot of protection. You couldn't even block it. No longer immune to crowd control is great. You can control the room more. And then no longer use Steam Wall, which is the one we wanted reduced anyway. So now it's going to be their basic attacks that are reduced, which isn't normally a problem. So I think you're fixing something that doesn't need to be fixed here. However, this is great. The fact you can pull them now. But you've taught the tank that the mechanics are going to be done for you. And then you've told the tank that they can move stuff around.
Winning. I love winnings. Drinks all around.
Overall, it's a positive, but there are issues there. Vault Protector will no longer play its light attack animation repeatedly after finishing barrage. Thank you for the follow. Vault Protector no longer has a chance to stand up early when shielded. All of this, I'm not going to lie, we've all seen Frostbolt completely fail over and over and over. You all laugh when I get it in a pug. That is going to make a difference. The dodge roller makes sense. The less damage, sure. CC, thank you very much, Cat. Get in. 5. Rocks Collectibles, thank you very, very much. Beer and cake in the chat, people. 5 bronzes, in fact. Very nice. We will still laugh. Yeah, of course you will. Now, combat and abilities. Gaining resistances from a particular damage type no longer grants immunities to respective status effects and adjusted racial passives that once granted immunities to make up for this loss. Thank you for the follow. Monsters no longer... Thank you for another follow. We got Dragonborn? Yes!
Dragonborn.
Get in. 1 second. You know the rules, people. The fight starts again from scratch. If you kill the Dragonborn, you'll take their place to stream. I have to kill you instead. Thank you very much. So monsters no longer have a random chance to apply status effects such as burn and poison from their attacks naturally and will only apply these statuses through intentional means when designed as such. This adjustment should help lower combat variance in some encounters where you seemingly take extra damage that is outside of your ability to naturally counteract as against overcharges who could apply the concussion status effect causing you to take more damage from all sources. Yes, because concussion is minor vulnerability. So you get hit by a fucking overcharger, everything's going to kill you in the face. Fixed many issues where abilities, item sets, and passives that dealt damage had the incorrect chance to proc their respective status effects. If you don't know what the actual status effect chances are, go into the game, go to help, and there's loads and loads of stuff in there that tells you about combat and blah, 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 blah. There's a bit in there about status effects, and it tells you AoE, direct, glyphs, damage over time, all that kind of stuff. It tells you each individual one and how much chance you actually have. So if you are arguing with people about passives and bonuses and who's effective and who isn't, it's all in the game already. It's all there. You can find out more about status effects under help, combat, elemental status. There you go. I've even explained it for you. I showed this on live stream recently. Nearly nobody knows it fucking exists. Now they got it in the patch notes as well. So you've been listening to me. How dare you listen to my words and put it in the patch notes? Actually, I mean thanks. About time. People need to know this stuff. Really, really helpful. It is there, but they don't know it's there. Now you do. Most cases, this reduction from 10% value to most appropriate to attack type. Good. I think it's because a lot of pugs just bounce once in the DLC dungeon. You said that earlier. And that's also... It's not something you can fix. That's just stupid people. I read that one already. Fix an issue where casting another ability right after a failed ground targeted ability could cause you to become unable to cast another ground target ability. That is really annoying. I've seen that happen with Volley quite a bit. Player source synergies will now attempt to cull their animations whenever you activate other abilities to reduce animation errors when utilizing them in tandem with weaving in other ability usages. Note, werewolves will no longer animate when activating a player synergy. Whoa! Hello, Bulldog. Thank you very much. Beer and Cake in the chat, you are an absolute legend. Thank you very, very much indeed for those 5 gifted subs. We nearly have a new Dragonborn. My God. 40 gifted subs to the channel. You are a legend. Read that one already. Fixed an issue where multiple healing abilities and sets that were bound to error of effect were not properly detected as heal over time. Fixed numerous issues where certain bonuses could unintentionally apply their effects to abilities or sets. Buff and debuffs. There are now 3 new status effects for the following damage types. Good, because we don't have these. Bleed, physical, and magic damage. Bleed has a chance to apply hemorrhaging. It deals slightly weaker damage than burning over 4 seconds and applies minor mangle to the target while affected. If you don't know what minor mangle is, that's what's on Pulsar. That will reduce the target's overall health by 10%. Physical damage has a chance to apply Sundered. It deals minor damage and applies minor breach for 4 seconds. That is fucking dirty and an encouragement for you to have a higher status chance on your setup in order to benefit from this if you don't already have it in your taunt. Magic damage has a chance to apply Overcharged. It deals minor damage and applies minor magic steal. Fuck. That's quite good. Oh, yes. Clinical Games, thank you for the sub. Hugely appreciated. Beer and Cake in the chat. Magic Seal is super dope to me. Yes, it is. Don't go ahead of me. I was just reading it. You've typed it before I'd even said it. Hot damn. Yeah, indeed. Can you imagine that? Templar. Jab, 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 jab. Magic Steel all day.
Winning. I love winnings. Drinks
You know,
all
like the
around.
off-balance Templar, the one that's built for status effects? Yeah, that one. Magic dots have a chance too. Magic damage. All damage from magic. Doesn't matter if it's dot or direct. They're just different chance percentages depending on the type. Like I said a moment ago, where the fuck did it go? Down here somewhere. I've lost it. Here. Go to this in-game. Help, combat, elemental status effects. All explained there. Jab is physical, no damage. You know exactly what I mean. You know I mean the magical version. Dear, oh dear, oh dear. Off-balance is a magical build, by the way. Fix an issue where some status effects such as diseased, chilled, and concussed could fail to be recognized as a status effect from sets and passives that stated while under status effect. Prime example of that is... I've forgotten the name of it. It makes the fucking snow wraith come out. It's right on the tip of my tongue and I've forgotten. What's the fucking name of the skill? Set even. Werewolves got a big nerf. I'm reading. Be patient. Icy Conjurer. Thank you very much. That one. Yes, you need to do a status effect to apply it. And that wasn't working with concussion. Minor Brittle. Fix an issue where this debuff could not be applied via the chill status effect if a target had a longer minor maim active. So basically, dots and bonuses and buffs and all that kind of stuff work on a timer. So the higher timer wins. And while you apply the chilled status effect and got minor brittle, that is minor maim. And other minor maims with longer durations obviously still win the battle, and it was going over top of it, which is normal, but it took chilled away, brittle away at the same time, which it shouldn't have done. Icy Conjurer, which has already been said like a million times. Yes, that one. Jabs is physical. Yes, Jabs is physical, but when I say Jabs, you know, when I'm saying, oh God, help yourself. You're nitpicking at something that doesn't have to be fucking nitpicked at. When I said it, I mean literally for the off-balance build, the puncturing sweeps. Jabs is universal. If I say Endless Hail or Arrow Barrage, I'm going to call it Volley 9 times out of 10. I'm talking about the actual skill itself for the Magicka version. Just one of the people in the chat. Whatever. Morning Ninjas and Nitpick Zai. Rev, how you doing? Welcome to another PTS stream where people get pissy for no good reason. When do these patch notes come into effect? They're on PTS at the moment. They will go into effect when the patch goes live on the live servers, but we don't have the date, I don't think, yet. Just bought a collector's upgrade edition for Blackwood. Need them mounts. Indeed. Dear oh dear. You be feeling trolled. No, not at all, Gormed. And that's not helpful. Right, let's move on, because obviously tensions are high. Sad because of a lot of Necro changes. Don't go ahead of me. Wait a minute. Otherwise I'm just going to ignore the messages. Right, fix an issue where immobilized and improperly labeled as a status effect. Read that one already. Read this. Next, DK. Right. Ooh, Rev, hello. Oh, man. Thank you very much, Rev. You're a fucking nutcase, dude. Take a breath. 10 gifted subs, now up to a whopping 950 on the channel, and a new Dragonborn, and Kess just got 4 bronzes and a silver. Thank you very, very much.
Dragonborn.
Get in. You know the rules, people to fight starts again from scratch. If you kill that Dragonborn, you'll take their place to stream. I have to kill you instead. BLK Torna, thank you for the bits. People, please be patient. I have to teach this for a living. I do have to present information to you. I'm reading the patch notes live. If you've already gone ahead of them, shh, let's get there. If you have really, really, really aggressive opinions about stuff and really, really big, long messages and you want to have a go at the streamer about stuff that's changing, first of all, it's not my fault. Secondly, shh, calm your tits. Relax. I'm going to read everything. It's in testing at the moment, so it's not real just yet. They might change stuff. They probably will, actually. Most welcome, all enjoy. Thank you for the bits.
Winning. I love
Don't
winning.
need to be mad.
Drinks
We're all
all
reading it
around.
together. God's Rage. Thank you very much. Right. DK. This is where they break my fucking build and I go mad instead. Respect the stream and respect the mod space. Yes. It's not that hard to do.
I love winnings. Drinks all around.
Remember, it's a free stream. You don't have to pay anything to watch it, but you can obviously be removed if you get pissy with people for no good reason. It's not going to help. When you pressed OK at the beginning of the chat, it said, be respectful. Although I swear too much. Thank you for fantastic advice. You're most welcome. Right, let's get on with it, because I've got to get on. This is my day off. Fucking hell. Dude, 4,000 fucking bits to take the Dragonborn. We're never going to get through this. Oh, dude. Thank you very much indeed. Hugely appreciate it. Beer and cake in the chat. Evils, how you doing? Welcome as well. It's empty. That's fucking insane, dude. Thank you very, very much. Right, Lava Whip, Molten Whip more. Fix an issue where the weapon and spell damage from this passive did not appear in your character sheet. Dark Talon, this ability and Choking Talon's morph now deal flame damage rather than magic damage. The Ignite synergy now also deals flame damage rather than magic damage. Makes sense, it's a DK ability. It's supposed to be fire. Why didn't it in the first place? But it's done. Good. Petrify, Shatter and Rocks. This morph now heals you when the stun ends on the enemy rather than causing the enemy's next attack to heal their target. This will also fix numerous issues where the heal belonged to the attacker and use their stats rather than yours. That was a fucking weird ability anyway, so fair enough. Necro, Frozen Colossus. Fixed an issue where this ultimate and its morphs could return as damage over time in some cases.
Winning. I love winning.
Thank you very much
Drinks
for the
all
follow.
around.
Assassination for the Nightblade. Mark target. Fix an issue where this ability and its morphs sourcing of Major Breach would be removed if the
I
ability
love
was
winning.
recast
Drinks all
while still
around.
actively on a target. This effect will now be considered as 2 negative effects instead of 1 for Major Breach and another for Mark that
I
grants
love
the caster
winning.
resources
Drinks all
if the
around.
marked target dies, similar to other abilities that apply multiple effects such as Power of the Light. Shadow, Consuming Darkness, Hidden Refreshes Heal now ticks once every second rather than every half a second and adjusted the total healing to remain roughly the same. Okay, so slower ticks, not quite as aggressive, but still the same strength. Fair enough. So change the DK talents now takes better advantage of their passive to generate magicka from applying burning effect. Yes, of course, because it's fire. While the synergy is active, it now displays what it does when hovered over in your active effects tab. Surprise attack. This morph now applies a sundered status effect on a hit rather than reducing the target's physical resistance by 5% if you successfully flank the target. That technically is a penetration bonus to everyone, but is a slight knock to the ability itself. So, while you do supply a very nice debuff, because it's guaranteed, you now have to account for that 5% that you no longer have. But it's nice. The Necro buffs nerfs are huge, fixed in one thing. Dude, let me get there. Siphoning. Debilitate. This morph now applies an overcharge status effect each tick, rather than applying minor magic steel for its duration. This will also fix an issue where magic steel could be removed if you cast the ability early. Okay, so that's fixing the ability, but still effectively the same. Sorcerer. Crystal Shard reduces... every patch. Where's the tears? Reduce the damage of this ability and Crystal Fragments morph by 2% to match the proper range cast time standard. So to fit other skills, basically. Do not nerf this. Fixed an issue where this ability and its morphs were considered as area of effect attack, which it shouldn't because it's direct, despite only hitting one target per mine. It was also scaling off of direct as well, so it was actually doing a little bit of both. Fixed an issue where an issue with these abilities could return as damage over time in some cases. Yeah, that should not be damage over time. The reason for it is because it has a duration of how long it's sitting there for. Especially if you're using the one that can... Thank you very much indeed. Hugely appreciated. Happy patch day. Later, Tara, how you doing? Hugely appreciated, of course. Bit and cake in the chat. Surf not Sork nerf? Not really. 2% reduction is fuck all. This is a fix, because sometimes it flags up as the wrong shit. Whoa! That's a fuck ton of bits, dude. Thank you very, very much. Did you just heal yourself? Or did you get nuked? No, you got nuked, and then... No, you healed. Stop poking me. Fucking hell. 5k bits. Thank you very much, dude. Massively appreciated. Aedric Curse fixed an issue where this ability and its morphs could cause your next animation to hitch and jitter. Animation fixes. Nice. Overload fixed an issue where the heavy attack from this ultimate, its morphs could return as damage over time in some cases. Well, it's a channel, so whatever. Oh my god. He's only gone and killed the fucking Dragonborn with 10 more gifted subs. 960 subs gifted to the channel. That's not a poke. No, that's a kill. Good night.
Dragonborn.
Fucking hell. That's another dead Dragonborn. 292 gifted subs. Fucking hell, Fatal. Thank you very, very much, dude. What the hell, indeed. No. No. I just saw that. That's... Not going to swear. Wait for it. You'll see. That. Oh. Holy shit box. Thank you very, very much. Empty Sky, you are nuts, dude. Thank you very much. 292 gifted subs for Fatal, 278 from Empty Sky, 960 from Rev. You guys are fucking mad. Thank you very much indeed.
Dragonborn.
We'll get some more reading in a second. Take a breath. PTS 7 might be up. Guess what? I'm in the stream team. I know when stuff happens. Don't worry. Thank you very much indeed, people. Fight starts again from scratch. You know the rules? This stream indeed. Right, next bit. Aedric Spear. Burn and Light. This passive now has 3-second window between each stack rather than 1.1 second. To reduce the candidates in which you must consistently attack with the Aedric Spear ability. Fucking good. I'm honestly really, really fucking happy about that. 3-second window between each stack rather than 1.1. This is overperforming like fuck. Overperforming. It's not the jabs that's the problem. It's all the benefits it gets. You got Burn and Light. You've got fucking crit bonuses. You've got reduction to damage bonuses. You've got so many fucking things at once. This was overperforming as hell. When's the level supposed to go into effect? What? Do you mean the champion points? When the new patch comes out. At the moment, it's just testing. Solar Flare, reduce the cast time of this ability and the Dark Flare morph by 0.8 seconds down from 1. That makes sense because it's the same as Wreck and Blow and Snipe. Reduce the damage done by approximately 21%. Ouch! And reduce the cost of all versions of this ability to 2700 down from 2970. Once you get your kind of stacking effects for your reduction to cost in, that's going to make a bit more sense, but that's a serious fucking drop. Similar to other cast time abilities with... Oh, actually, come to think of it, I mean, you're losing that in percentage versus the timer, so that will actually add up. It should be roughly the same, to be fair. This is what's going to tell me, isn't it? Similar to the other cast abilities, we've taken the approach to a quicker cast time to help make this ability easier to weave with a 1-second global cooldown. This should also help reduce burst potential when combined with other high-hitting attacks, but help the DPS go up by making it smoother and easier to use to sustain. Over a long period of time, it's going to be roughly the same, isn't it? But individual slaps are not going to be quite as strong. So this has been dropped by 20% time-wise, so it's quicker, and the damage has been dropped by almost 20%. I think we need to get an AC unit in the summer via the fundraiser stream. You're going to put in hella work. You're not wrong, dude. I can't get one because this is a fucking council house. They won't let us have it. Is PTS up yet? Go and download the patch. They'll update. If you haven't seen already, keep it on the forums. They'll update it. Fire, thank you very much for the resub. Much appreciated. Smack the OP Templar. It's still alright. It's still alright. It's not bad. I mean, especially this being cheaper. Restoring Light Weaver. Fix an issue where this passive did not properly grant its stated armor when you were channeling Rite of Passage. Winter's Embrace for the Warden.
I love weddings. Drinks all around.
Fixed an issue with Frozen Gate where the damage from this ability and its morphs could return as damage over time. Bow. Heavy attack with the bow has completely new reload animation and is faster and smoother than before. With 100% less jitters. The power of a sober mind does wonders on the battlefield. I will take your fucking word for it. This passive now grants critical chance rather than weapon crit. So that's all critical chance. Rank 2 now grants 6% critical chance up from 5%. So that affects your magic crit as well.
I love weddings. Drinks all around.
Done on purpose. Snipe. Reduce the cast time of these abilities to 0.8 and 1 second. From 1 second. We knew that. Already gone ahead a little bit. This ability and its morphs now have a much faster, smoother animation to support the new cast time. This is obviously going to be reduced by 20%. Yep, there you go, 21%. So the cast time is down, but so is the damage. So overall, DPS will probably be about the same, but your initial hit is going to go lower. Same again, that instead of being 3240 is 2700, same as this is 2700 for that channeled ability. I don't doubt Reckon Blow and all the rest of them are going to get a little bit of a nudge. Bulldog, thank you very much for the bits, much appreciated. Increase the travel speed slightly to help reduce the ability to fire off multiple projectiles before the original one landed. So basically how this works, lots of people call it desync and all that kind of shit. There are some issues with it, but this essentially travels through the air, and it's got a certain amount of time that it travels. Obviously, the longer the distance, thank you for the bits, dude. The longer the distance, the longer it takes to get there, which means you could fire one, and while it's in transit, fire another one. While that's in transit, fire another one. Over a long distance, the first one hits the player, then they're like, the fuck? And then the next go, and they all hit them at once. That's just physics, okay? That's how it works. They are already in the air, you can fire another one. This makes them hit the target much, much faster, so now you can't stack up loads of them in the air. Like, literally, there's more awareness of it actually coming towards you rather than just waiting and all of them hit you at once. Lots of support. Thank you for the bits. Oh my god, you got a Dragonborn with bits again.
Dragonborn.
Oh man. It's the difference between... How do I describe it? I guess the difference between a shuttlecock and a bullet. Shuttlecock takes ages to go through the air. Bullet's quicker. So you can obviously fire more of the first one before the first one hits you. And a bullet, they're all going to hit you roughly the same fucking time anyway. So yes, you can still fire and fire and fire and fire. But you're going to know about it sooner. Focused aim, this morph now ranks up in cost reduction rather than 1.1% damage per rank. The final cost is now 2.4. That's quite healthy for a spammable. Similar to Solar Flare changes update and Crystal Shards a few updates ago, we wanted to make sure these abilities are less bursty in nature while helping their fluid usage in rapid succession. See, they want you to spam it. Making them less potent at combining into deadly Alpha Strike attacks and more potent while using in a rotation. So is PTS still on maintenance? Yes, it is. If you refresh the forum page, it will tell you whether it's live or not. So just keep an eye on that, you'll be fine. Let's see a snipe in primetime PvP with 5-second skill delay. Hopefully it improves. Have you seen it with 10 before? We did that on live stream. That's hilarious. Also, they've already noted about performance and all that kind of stuff. It's a ongoing thing.
I
And
love winning.
this
Drinks
happens
all around.
just far too much. I can't be bothered with it. It is what it is. If it fixes, great. If it doesn't, then I'll just keep waiting. Blade Cloak. Deadly Cloak. Reduce the visual and audio effects of this ability to once every 2 seconds rather than every second to make it less obnoxious. Note that it will still deal damage every second. Okay? Thrive of Chaos. This morph hitbox now more accurately matches its visual effects, resulting in a significant area of effect increase. Twin Blade and Blunt. Rework this passive to grant the following bonuses. Uh-oh.
I love winnings. Drinks all
Oh dear.
around.
Thank you for the follow, by the way. Axes now increases your critical damage and healing done per axe. Holy fuck. Rather than having a chance to bleed. Okay, because that's based on other things instead. Daggers now grant 1.7 to 3.4% crit chance per dagger rather than 2.5 to 5, so crit chance has gone down. Thank you for the follow. Maces now grant 1.6 and a bit armor piercing penetration per mace rather than ignoring 10%. 5 or 10 depending on how many you've got. So that's actually more accurate because it doesn't base it on how much defense the target has. It has a flat value. That's actually quite
I love
nice.
winnings. Drinks all around.
Not far off sharpened as well. Thank you for the follow. Swords now grant 71 to 142 weapon damage per sword rather than increasing the damage. That's a reverse. Thank you for the sub. Hugely appreciated. Bit and Cake in the chat. Thank you for those that just joined, by the way. So, I mean, this was actually quite nuts because this could have a massive scaling effect when it comes to overall damage done. But now this is very, very flat. Be interesting to see how this works out. It looks like a bit of a drop for some things, although the axes are quite nice. I mean, the bleed is a very good damage over time, but crit damage if you're stacking loads of crit anyway, which is hilarious because if you use daggers to get the crit, you then have to sacrifice one of your weapon choices to get the increased crit damage from this, or you have to find crit elsewhere instead of utilizing daggers only, which is fucking hilarious to be fair. This is a bit of a buff, to be honest. Although maces were very strong in the past, that's now controllable in PvE. You can decide exactly how many penetration bonuses you need and all that good stuff. PvP, however, bit of a nuke. Still, fucking good. Good to go. How you doing? Welcome to the stream. Let's see. Previously, this passive was too binary in terms of which was viewed as the best, so we've made some adjustments to make it more clear as well as more universally helpful. We've opted to move the passive bleed chance as it was the only effect that could carry over after activating. Correct, because if you put the bleed on and swap bars, it stays with you. If you swap bars with a pen or the swords or the crit, you don't get that. So that was a little bit too powerful in that respect, sure. We've opted to remove the... Read that one already. Maces also felt too punishing and awkward as they became weaker the more you reduce a target's resistances. Again, very, very accurate. You could make it really strong against a target that was not debuffed, but then it could be really weak if they had fuck tons of debuffs because you're only using a percentage value. Unfamiliar, but can combine the bonuses if you do like a mace and one sword. Yeah, of course you can. There are per weapon. Thank you for the follows. Read that already. Swords often didn't scale. Can you read this? You can. Often didn't scale the way they appeared and seemed stronger than they were. So we moved it to more easily discernible power increase. Additionally, all of these effects now apply to any attack rather than only martial-based attacks to assist hybrid builds and general accessibility. Ah! Hybrid. See? English stream. It is an English stream. Please keep your words English if you can, because otherwise I'm not going to be able to read it. And it's useless because I read my own chat. At least I try to. It says PTS is still under maintenance. Yes, it is. Where am I? Two-hander. This is obviously going to be changed as well. Axes now grant crit damage and healing done rather than having a chance to apply bleed. So this is the thing, right? There's a couple of sets that have been altered. One of them is promoting area of effect healing done as a stam ability or a stam setup. So like vigor and all that kind of stuff. Granted, I mean, weapon damage abilities can do that anyway. Weapon damage sets can do that anyway. We already have those, but still pushing that to be strong. Then you've got axes, which improves healing done. Critical healing done, in fact. So if you were a dual wield axe wielding fucker with vigor and the other healy set and all that kind of stuff, you could end up pushing for AoE heals on a stamina just with a weird weapon choice. It's a bit nuts. Damo is about to tell an interesting German story. How you doing, Kai? Welcome to the stream. Do you know what? My German's rusty as fuck, dude. Now go and think about your life choices, indeed. We got Zos in the chat, people. Thank you very much for joining. I'm reading all your patch notes. I might have savagely attacked a couple of them. So far, pretty good.
I love winnings. Drinks all around.
Thank you for the follow. So a two-handed axe gives you 8%. Maces will give you a 3,300 armor penetration after ignoring 20% of physical resistances in the past. There's still a massive fucking bonus. It's equivalent to what, Spriggans almost? Swords now grant 284 weapon and spell damage rather than increasing damage done by 6%. See, again, weapon and spell damage, much like the... This, I would assume, is supposed to be weapon and spell damage because their description does state hybrid builds and all the rest of it. This does weapon and spell damage, and it's basically the two-hander equivalent. I would assume that this is a typo and they're missing the magic damage part of it, or the spell damage part of it. But this...
Winning. I love winnings.
Wizard wearing a fucking dress with a two-hander doing spells. Just saying. So his native language is Gaelic. He's only uses English because his personality has affected. Yeah, of course. Zai's day off machine. That's exactly what it is.
Winning. I love winnings.
Thank you for the follows, people. Much appreciated. Soul Magic, Soul Strike. Fix an issue where this ultimate and its morphs could fail to trigger other sets that had while in combat requirements if it was your first cast initiate combat, sorry. Mist form, please don't break it. It says fixed, not changed. Fix an issue where this ability and its morphs could cancel themselves while falling. Okay, fine. Fix an issue where these abilities could fail to grant proper CC immunity in some cases. Good. Fix an issue where attempting to use the ability after using the cast time ability would cause you to immediately leave the form. Okay, so fixes. We're good. We're good. Hircine's Bounty. That is altered. Reduce the health and stamina recovery cap of this 333 down from 666. So that got a bit of a nuke. Pounce. Brutal Pounce. Fix an issue where this brutal carnage damage over time was not properly inherent in the damage increase of Carnage's rank up progression. This will result in approximately 3.3% damage increase of this morph's bleed. There's a bit of a buff then. Savage Strength. This passive now grants major resolve on both ranks rather than increasing your armor by 5k to 10k. This was done to tone down some of the staggering defenses the werewolf could obtain with little to no effort. They were a bit chunky, but that's a fucking huge hit. Because this doesn't stack. Before, you could have 10k resistances and major resolve as a medium werewolf and be strong as fuck. Now you don't get it. Oops. Werewolf Transformation Pack Leader. The Direwolves summoned from this ultimate no longer taunt enemies and cause them to behave erratically since they cannot be targeted. Good, because that's fucking annoying. Oh dear. They hit vamps and werewolves. Don't go ahead of me. I'm reading. Be patient. Fighters Guild. Banish the Wicked. This passive now grants you 1, 2, and 3 ultimate whenever you kill an enemy rather than have the Fighters Guild ability slotted. Rather than restoring... Oh, shit. Wait. While you have an ability slotted, you get the ultimate. Rather than giving you 9 ultimate whenever you kill undead or Daedra or werewolf. So this encourages you to have... Right, first of all, it's a nerf. So that's got nuked to shit. That's actually 3 times less effective than it was. But you have to have a Fighter's Guild ability slotted. Now, for DPS on the stamina side of things, it's not too hard. You probably just slot Dawnbreaker or something, maybe Circle Protection on the back. But magical wearers are only going to get used to this if you put one on the bar. Tricky. Okay, fair enough. We'll see how that pans out. Entropy. Fix an issue where this ability and its morphs could cause your next animation to hitch. Spell Symmetry. Fix an issue where this... casting this ability could desync your magical bar. Yeah, that's not helpful since you're trying to mess with that anyway. So kind of okay. We'll see. Yeah, you're going to have to build your werewolf now rather than just have loads of free passives that were really easy to obtain. And that's kind of where they've gone with this. Like, the passive grants blah, 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 blah. Tone down, staggering defenses the werewolves can obtain with little to no effort. Thank you very much for the sub. Hugely appreciated. So this is what they're counting on. They have noticed that no work whatsoever makes you an OP fucking werewolf. Now you got to build for it. Alliance stuff. Continuous attack. The passive will now always grant major gallop when purchased rank 1 or 2. Rapid maneuvers. This ability and its morphs no longer grant major gallop on cast since it is no longer necessary. Reduce the cost to 6.4k rather than 6.8, almost 6.9. Racial passives. Slightly adjusted some racial passives now, and the champion points have been reworked, and a few standards within our set bonuses efficiency system have changed. Thanks for the follow. For simplicity's sake, we have listed the final rank adjustments of each passive rather than each rank's adjustment. Obviously, the more skill points you put in each one, the stronger they get, blah, blah, blah. Argonian Resistance. This passive no longer grants immunity to disease status effect, and once again grants you equal amount of poison resistance. Okay. Resourceful. This passive now grants you 1k max stamina and reduces the resources restored to 3125 down from 4k. So the potion passive got a nerf at last, but now you've got extra stamina as well.
Winning. I love winning.
Okay.
Drinks all around.
So their resources got altered a little bit. Plus, you got loads of health now anyway, because your base stats are 16k before fucking food. It's still fucking nuts. I think characters are going to be really fucking strong. If you've got 16k base instead of 8.7, once you get all your passives on and food and everything, you're going to be sitting on 25k health as a fucking DPS. Easily. Fighters Guild passive, even less useful than tanks now, I guess. Well, you would still have to have a Fighters Guild ability on your bar. So if you, again, you had Circle of Protection or something like that, it would be fine. Mag base changed. Yeah, it did. Mag base changed, stand base changed. I saw 1,000 straight up, I think it was, for weapon damage and spell damage as well. So it's quite a bit. I think we have something like 7k. 7 mag and stamp start. It was at the beginning of the stream anyway. Breton's spell tournament increased the spell magic recovery, sorry, not spell recovery, granted from the passive to 130 up from 100, so they got buffed. This is awesome, most fun patch note review ever. Thank you very much. Silver Leash of tanks, depending on the class. If you're a DK, you don't need that. Dynamic, increase the max magic and max stamina granted from the passive to 1910 up from 1875. That's tiny, but it's almost reaching high elf and orc actually, both sides of it. Flame resistant, this passive no longer grants immunity to burn and status effects. So DKs, you can kill the dark elves again. Increase the flame resistance to 4620 up from 2310. Fuck! Okay, DK's rip. Don't worry, boost side with subs and rocks, he will give us his builds. If you still die as a DPS with that much health, my healer will never heal you again. Just saying. Indeed. Yeah, but the thing is, with that much base health, it's going to make DK healers much, much stronger. Because the strength in a DK healer is its health. Because the higher the health, the stronger the Igneous Shield. And you want to spam that to get your major mending. So big shields, big protection. Don't have to spec so much into it either. Easy peasy. High Elf. Elemental Talent. This passive now grants weapon and spell damage rather than only spell damage. Whoa! Reduced the restore passive from 625 down from 640, which is not even going to notice. And this passive now works for an ability used rather than only class abilities used. That is also a bit of a buff.
I love winnings.
Because what you would do before, say for example on the Easy Sork, if you wanted to use dodge rolls and all that good stuff, you could just use a damage shield from your skill line and get stamina back on purpose. Now if you spam and crush and shock, it'll work. That's pretty good. Or vice versa. So obviously if you use a magic ability when you got a low stam bar, it will put your stam up. If you use a stam ability when you got a low mag bar, it will put your mag up. So you can actually go hybrid with a high elf. Oh my god. Thank you for the sub. Red Diamond. Look at this. High elf. High elf. Mag and spell and weapon. Very nice. Thank you for the follows again. We have a new Dragonborn. Oh yes.
Dragonborn.
I ran out of juice. That's fucking shit. We also resource stamp. That's exactly what I just said. Irish, you got to keep up. Otherwise I have to repeat stuff too much because this is a lot to go through. But yes, if you use a magic ability, if you've got a high mag bar and a small stam bar, it will give you stam back. If you use a stam ability when you've got a high stam bar and a low mag bar, it'll give you magic back. It gives you the opposite of what you've got the most of. So if you've got more magic, it'll give you stam. If you've got more stam, it'll give you magic. Where are we? Imperial. Red. Thank you for the host. The passive no longer restores health, magic, and stamina whenever you deal direct damage. Well, fuck you then. Increase cost of all... What? Increase the cost reduction of all abilities to 6% up from 3. That's fucking good, actually. That's a bit naughty. Thank you for the follow. What's the point of giving high elf weapon damage but no stand bonuses?
I love winnings. Drinks all around.
I just went over that. You have to figure it out. Hybrid stuff is not that easy. But if you can manage it, really nice. Feed on ambush. Increase the crit damage and healing done from this passive up to 12% up from 10. Hello, Flawless. Flawless in the chat if you don't know what that is. Lunar Blessing. Increase the max health, magicka, and stamina granted from this passive to 915 up from 815. With the base stats going up, that's actually a substantial amount. So, Fluffy Cats got stronger. Work got in the way of watching stream. Rip. How you doing, Ready Player One? Nord, Frost. This passive no longer grants immunity. It's going to be 4.6, isn't it? Yes, same as a high elf. but no chill status effects immunity instead. Reduce the armor... Oh, fuck off! Reduce the armor granted from this passive to 2,600 down from 3,960. RIP! It's not massive. It's not the end of the world. It's only literally like 1.4k, but 1.3k-ish. Oops. Why do they buff cats? Cats are icky. They love cats, Grizzly. Orc, reduce the max stamina granted from this passive to 1,000 down from 2,000. Fucking felt that. Swift Warrior, this passive now grants weapon damage and spell damage rather than weapon damage alone. So that's more hybrid. Do you know what? I actually like that. Here's a reason why. How many images have you seen from the Morrowind stuff where you could see orcs in dresses with big staves and shit?
Winning. I love
Spell
winning.
damage.
Drinks all around.
Orky wizard. But the stamina has been reduced, obviously. So, but then again, the base stats are higher. So, balance. Noz got close to the milk drinkers. Thank you for the follows.
Drinks all around.
Matagon needs a shout out. How you doing? Welcome to the stream. Sorry, dude, I'm reading stuff. I'm trying to keep... This is stressful shit, this is. Swift Warrior passive now... Read that. This passive now heals you for 2,125 health when you deal damage once every 4 seconds, rather than 600 when you deal damage with a weapon attack. Fucking brawler! Ooh. And if you build for spell damage as well. If you're a mag build, you got built-in crit surge right there. With crit surge. Fuck. Oh my god. PvP is all going to be fucking orcs, you watch. Just heal constantly. Fixing issue where this passive was not considered a proc. So, be careful. Procs can't make it happen, obviously. But, again, it was only weapon attacks in the past anyway. The heal from this passive can no longer critically strike. Well, that doesn't fucking matter because it's still based off healing done and healing received. So you could still potentially, depending on what buffs and bonuses you've got, push at least a 4k heal out of that. Easily. And some. You can't crit it though. Already have one, thank you. I'm going to Mag's Orc after this patch. Mag's Orc? Very nice.
I love winnings. Drinks all around.
Easy Sork being a fucking orc. Could you imagine that? That would be insane. Absolutely insane. Crit surge and orc passive. You just heal all day. With Ring of the Pale Order. Good night. Seems a lot of health going in. Is this us focusing on solo players a bit? No. Because otherwise they wouldn't initiate companions, which is not solo anymore. Red Guard Adrenaline Rush. Increase the stamina restored from this passive to 1,005 up from 950. Over time, that is going to be a substantial difference. Quite a big boost there. This passive now procs on any damage done rather than direct. Ouch. Wood Elf, Hunter's Eye. The movement and armor penetration granted from this passive no longer require you to dodge roll to gain it. Instead, it's a permanent effect. Oh, nasty. Decrease the movement speed bonus down to 5 instead of 10. Decrease armor pen to 950 down from 1.5. So this has been reduced a little bit, obviously, because it has to, because it's now a permanent buff. Most people didn't even take advantage of it unless they're in PvP, and it's only like one hit every so often. That being permanent is actually fucking strong. With it being 950, that will, in most cases, borderline balance what you lost on the Nightblade. So, to make sense of that, you had a 5% pen bonus, versus the target pen on how many bonuses to debuffs and stuff it's got at the moment. That depends on how much it is, but on average you're looking at about 900-ish if you're talking a full target at 18,200. There's your 950 right there. So the Wood Elf, being a Nightblade, gaining major breach and minor breach from surprise attack, plus having that passive, will kind of roughly be where it was before. I have an Orc Magsork called Dave. You are a legend, Captain Clown. That's fucking hilarious. So again, balance things. I mean, if you are a Wood Elf Nightblade, your flat bonuses and stuff are kind of there, if you know what I mean. Thank you for the host, Dave OP. Resist Affliction. This passive no longer grants immunity to poison status effects and once grants you the amount equal to disease resistances. Okay, fine. Sets! Zai, what's for supper? I have no idea, dude. Reduce the amount of critical chance rating granted per set bonus to 657. Can't even do words. Which is 3%. Down from 833, which was 3.8%. Excuse me. This means all set and passives that granted critical rating have been adjusted to meet this new standard. All singular line stat bonuses have been adjusted to this value, while more specific adjustments will be called out below. So for those of you that didn't know, 657, any crit bonus, 1-piece bonus, 2-piece, 3-piece, whatever, is actually 3%. Before it was 3.8 being 833. Reduced the single line stat of critical chance rating to 657 down from 833. We just read that. Reduced perfected ability augmenting stat lines of critical chance to 526 down from 666. They really need to start doing flat percentages here rather than fucking messing with numbers. Berserker Warrior reduced the amount of critical weapon granted per stack to 241 down from 305. Dragon Guard Elite, this set now stacks up to 10 times once every 0.5 seconds, up from 5 every 1 second, and reduced the crit per stack to 275 down from 475. Overall, this is an increase. Correct, it is. That's quite a big increase, actually. What's that work out? 550 every 2 stacks instead of 475. So 550, you got 75 increase every 1 second on what you had before. So overall, quite a fucking bit. Eagle Eye and Wrath of Imperium reduce the critical chance of these sets 2 pieces grant 1652 down from 1829. See, some of these aren't that big, but when you start stacking them all together, there is a bit of a large difference. Dragon Guard Elite being buffed though, very nice. Leviathan and Mother Sorrow reduce the crit ratings on these sets 5 pieces to 1528 down from 1937. So you've lost not far off of 2 or 3% there, about 2%, which is not the end of the world. Mechanical Acuity, Mechanical Acuity increased the cooldown in this set to 21 seconds up from 18. Ouch! Medusa reduced the set bonus on the 5-piece to 892 down from 900. That's not game breaking. Although you have to consider the base stats again were 833 per bonus. Now they're down to 657 per bonus, being that you lose 0.8 for every one of the 3 bonuses that you've got. Which means you're going to be sitting on just over 2% reduction once you've got all the bonuses in there removed, which isn't too bad. Again, Mother Sorrow looks like it's losing 2%. Medusa's losing 2%. Overall, once you start getting all the decimals in there and fucking with numbers, you're looking at about 4 to 5% overall reduction to crit chance, which is not the end of the world if you're stacking both. But if you're using one or the other, you might have to alter your stuff. Thank you for the follows, by the way. Slimecraw reduced the 1 piece to 771, down from 833. So you say standardization in one sentence and then you change it on another. I mean, granted, that's a large 1-piece bonus. This is higher than the normal bonus due to the 2-piece bonus being a minor buff, which you may already have access to.
Drinks all around.
All right. Zov can increase the weapon crit per stack to 177, up from 134. So the 2 major proc crit sets have been increased, and the flat, you don't have to do anything and don't apply any skill whatsoever sets have all been slightly reduced. So it's encouraging you to work for your buffs, but if you don't want to, you have a lesser effect. Fair enough. And then they're going to tell me this in the spoiler, aren't they? Previously, crit chance was sourced very abundantly and was clear winner in terms of chaseable stat for endgame dealing damage in PvE, while having natural counters and operations cost in PvP. The main source of this issue was the fact that standard rating of crit chance granted was too high, meaning item sets and passives that granted it were out of line when compared to other stats like weapon and spell damage or penetration. With these adjustments, we expect many builds to have reduced crit rating while also helping tone down the effectiveness of crit damage and healing, unless your build goes out of its way to specifically chase those stats. Flawless in the chat if you haven't seen it already. In efforts to combat against the effectiveness of pre-buff sets, or sets that retain their effect after activating and equipping them, we've made the following adjustments. These sets now require you to be in combat for the 5-piece bonuses to activate. All of the Halls of Fabrication unique sets, Armor Master, Mysterious Service, Moon Dancer, Shroud of the Lich, Spectre's Eye, Locestitz, Undaunted Infiltrator, and Weaver. So you do have to be in combat, not set it up before you start. These buffs are no longer retained if you unequip a number of pieces required to activate them. So Bollag and Stygian, or however the fuck you pronounce that. Thank you for the link, much appreciated. This obviously makes sense because people can pre-buff, which you're not really supposed to do. No more pre-buff cheese, yeah, indeed. You have to be active with your sets. Adept Rider, thank you for the... Oh my god, thank you for the bits. Massive amount. Hugely appreciated. Adept Rider set will now... Oh, by the way, for anyone that's given bits, mods can link the patch notes, or you could have just gone there first. Anyone donating bits, 1,000 is the first checkpoint. After that, I'm not going to give you spoilers. There are emotes tied to those. You get a badge, which is a ninja star, and certain checkpoints will unlock more. There's the only That's the only emote you can unlock with bits. Obviously, a sub gives you a set amount of emotes. There is a unique one of lots of different colors for donating bits. So if you've donated 1,000 minimum, you'll start unlocking those. Show them off in the chat if you've got them, by the way. There you go. Empty Sky's got the yellow ones. That's fucking expensive. Adept Rider is now permanently grants Major Gallop and Major Expedition when worn, rather than granting Major Evasion while mounted and creating a harmful area that damages and grants evasion to you and your group. With this rework, we expect this set to remain niche in functionality, but far more beginner and crafter friendly by helping traverse the game world, especially when at lower levels you can't attain these buffs easily. So if you put on Ring of the Wild Hunt plus this set, no one's ever fucking catching you. So I was checking the wrong category in the forums. I did not realize there was a separate PTS category. Yes, there is. There's one. If you go to the main page of the forum and just scroll down a little bit, it literally says public test server. It should be all there. Claws of Drozozozozaka. Thank you for the follows. This set now grants 129 weapon damage on his 5-piece bonus. Okay. Decrease the weapon damage granted per bleed on the enemies to 103 down from 133. Meh. Whatever. Not that mad about that one, to be honest. These changes were done to make up for the fact that axes no longer apply bleed and the additional hemorrhage status effect. With these adjustments, the set should now be far less swinging in performance and shine when specialized on bleed builds with less variance on chance. So people could benefit from this just by ninjaing bleed effects from axes, basically, rather than actually going out of their way to make a bleed build. Flame Blossom fixed an issue where this set did not properly scale damage over time modifiers. Iron Blood fixed an issue where this set's snare could stack with very specific snares. Yeah, because that slows you down enough.
I love
Thank you for the follows.
Drinks all around.
I did link it above. I don't think you can, Cass. It only works from mods. Links aren't allowed for anyone in the stream, but the mods can do it. Let's see. Where am I? Tom, this set now clarifies it also works with bleeding damage abilities since it's a new damage type, but the set was originally designed to keep damage type in mind. Okay, so that's going to work with bleed stuff as well. It's physical generally. Alkosh, the armor reduction portion of this set now scales 100% off your weapon damage up to a cap of 3,000 rather than basing its value on damage done. Fixed an issue where this set was not properly labeled as a proc. So, previous adjustments to help make this set shine when more utilized on a stamina damage dealer missed the mark, so we are converting it to something with far less variance and total power. Note that the value is still relatively achievable on tank builds who wish to run it instead, but they may need to run some extra weapon damage where they normally might not reach it. So, the DPS set that was designed for stamina DPS, while being able to be utilized by other people, was too easy to apply on something it was not designed specifically for. So they've made it more balanced in you can still do it, but if you want the most out of it, the role it was designed for is going to be able to do it.
I love winnings. Drinks all around.
DPS set. Yes, it is. Otherwise, it wouldn't be medium. Thank you for the follows. You can make or break anything you like, but the original design was for DPS. It did have very good application on tanks for default without even having to spec into anything apart from penetration and champion points. Now it is deliberately decided that they want to go that route. Like, fuck for that! No, it's already been on toxicity for the last 3 years. Although originally it was called Infused. PvP. Alessi's Bulwark. This set now has a cap of 1320 health recovery. Fucking hell. Ravager fixed multiple issues where this set could proc off abilities that did not attempt to reduce a target's resistances.
I love winnings. Drinks all
This
around.
set no longer has... Oh, shit. This set no longer has a 15% proc chance and is now granted to proc on any non-proc melee damage. Increase the cooldown to 6 seconds up from 4. Reduce the damage dealt to 1.7 down from 13. I am selfishly really happy about this. Do you know why? Because this has been outperforming, especially on Templars, stacking multiple bonuses and buffs for a fucking long time. Rip Stam Sork Cheese? Yeah, indeed. There are certain classes and builds that literally, instead of speccing for something like this, could just get free default damage almost all the time. Like Jabs, for example, wasn't necessarily far off the one cast. Each hit could make it fucking fire. The chance was way too high. And now, with the cooldown being slightly higher and the damage being slightly less, I mean, it's still going to be a little bit more than Veladreth, but you have to now be very, very careful how you use it. It's not going to be spam, 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 easy done. You can still spam stuff, sure, but it was way overperforming. Nice. Hello, rules are just don't be a jerk. Rules are already in the chat. There you go. Should be working. With these adjustments, we expect lower DPS on a high end for builds utilizing rapid hitting melee attacks, like I just said, such as jabs or rapid strikes, like I just said, while helping it perform better on the lower end with builds that utilize singular hit spammables. Now, if you want an example for that, light attack, surprise attack, light attack, surprise attack, 1, 2, 1, 2. That's your proc chance in that rhythm. That's your proc chance. Jabs, fucking stupid. So this makes sense. Tremor Scale fixed an issue where the set's physical resistance reduction was considered as a snare in some cases. That's because it has a snare attached to it. Whoops. Animation fixed and visual stuff. This is all Crown Store stuff fixes. Dungeon Group. Aha! Vampire Lord Thissa will now only play her Blink Strike animation once, no matter how many times enemies are hit by that ability. Noise. There's a pain in the ass anyway. People still struggle with her. Banish Cells. Please don't do this. High Kinlord Rillis will no longer flicker before teleporting. Okay. Monsters in Frozen Arena can no longer be damaged before their gates are opened. Nobody ever did that, surely. Fungal Grotto 1. Friendly Goblin Archers no longer show a telegraph on their attacks. These are minor issues. Fixed, sure. Whereas Terrifying Roar no longer causes your character to flee in terror, but still imparts significant mental anguish. Will now reliably jump into or enter the fight space as you enter it. Variant will use his slash ability more often. He will no longer remain invisible. Scorching Flames will no longer cause your character to flee. Oh, so you just get stunned instead? Because you get fleed into the fucking wall. Ghost Haunted Spectre ability will no longer cause your character to cower in fear rather than flee during the encounter. Okay, Sanctum Ophidia, all scale core enemies will now correctly add into the fight when intended. Manticora Vortex will correctly display the target of the ability at the center of the portal that is opened. I mean, that's random anyway. Stonebreaker. Player characters that died to Stonebreaker while affected with a spread and poison no longer damage nearby enemies with Poison Blast. When they die, the damage will correctly come from Stonebreaker. So minor issues there. So I just noticed the old patch notes are linked. Yeah, you have to post literally the new notes like that. Take that, Platts, copy and paste it. Mental anguish indeed. Then we'll get stuck in the stairs or in the wall, like I said. File, how you doing? Not going to go over these. Itemization, exploring, etc., etc. This stuff you can go through by yourself because this is very specific situations. It's not necessarily for everyone, although that's quite funny. Housing we can't really go over because we can't really see anything, but there's a lot of fixes here as well. Again, there's a link in the description, not in the description, sorry. There's a link in the chat for this if you do want to go over these in more detail. Thank you for the follow, much appreciated. Excuse me. And that is me pretty much done, I think. Let me check if this is up and running or not. I mean, it might not be. Refresh the page.
Drinks all around.
Apparently, it's still offline. Rip. Well, we can't do anything about it then. It's time to go. But let's go over it in a nutshell. First of all, thank you very much for the follows. It's fucking insane. I hit 20k today and I'm now already 20.1 shiny natch pokes. I know. Right, I'm going to post them in here again. If you watch this on YouTube later, by the way, it's in the description. There's the notes. Don't freak out. This is all in testing at the moment. So there'll be multiple changes over the next few weeks before it actually goes live. You never know what's going to happen. With the Amazon Prime, can I get a free sub? Yes, you can. I will be on the PTS this week, so you can see some of the champion points and stuff working. New bloopers videos, not yet. I will go over so much stuff, and yes, of course, once the patch actually goes live and is real and is not in bullshit mode, where people make up stuff and say, hey, this is the best thing next patch ever. Fucking ignore that shit. I will be updating every single build because I have to. Every single one is going to require some changes because champion points are completely new. They've redone the whole fucking lot. But in a nutshell, really happy of what I see so far. I'm looking forward to a lot of it, especially the champion points. Little bit miffed about some of the nerfs in the dungeons, but I understand why you're doing it. I do think there are other things higher in priority lists that could have been looked at, but whatever, it is what it is. So, on a positive note, actually looking forward to getting onto PTS and fucking with it. Thank you for the stream today and your day off. You're most welcome, dude. Right, I am going to do a host, obviously. Oh, we need to do a giveaway. It's 20k, isn't it? Fuck it. We'll give away some chickens. Have I got any purple chickens? Let's give away a purple chicken. We'll do a proper video for that later, maybe. Who wants a purple chicken? Rarest pet in the game. You can't get it from anyone except for an ESO stream team partner. It's the only way to get them. Almost missed the stream. I'm finished. I'm almost finished. You need to put chicken attack in the chat, and I'm going to use a 2-minute timer, so it's got to be quick.
Drinks all around.
Chicken attack in the chat. Be okay to want to put chicken already, and it's the wrong one. Oh no, you're just screaming chicken. Okay, fair enough. All one word. Make sure it's all one word. How many people get it wrong? All one word. If you put 2 words, it's not going to work. There you go. You hate roosters? Close. Not quite, though. Let's see who we can host while we're at it. Unfortunately, PTS is not up at the moment. I mean, technically, it's my day off anyway, so I do need to piss off really quickly. But if it was live, I probably would be going on there. But keep it on the YouTube channel, because you're going to see some updates. You're going to have to see some updates. There's so much fucking stuff to see. Let's see who's doing stuff and things. Me, apparently.
I love weddings. Drinks all around.
Excellent. Elder Scrolls. Chicken attack needs to be all one word. Don't spit it up. Always one work. Stream team members. How many we got going? A few, actually. Should we scare the shit out of someone new or go for a stream team member? What do you reckon? Don't give me options, as in who. I'll find someone. But which do you reckon? A scare one to give someone a bit of a boost? Or a stream team member? Scare someone? Stream team? Scare someone? Stream team? Why are people scare a stream team? It's a good idea. Is chicken attack over? You got 28 seconds. Scare a new one. Scare the oblivion out of them. Very good, DJ. I like that. Let's see. No one's going to understand that. Well, some might. How many of you speak Russian? Unfortunately, I do not. We can... You look like you'll be scared. Yes.
I love weddings.
Don't forget Midyear Mayhem's coming. Let's go here. Bear with me just one moment. I'm going to do the giveaway winner in a second.
I love weddings. Drinks all around.
No, you've got loads of follows. Thank you for the follows. Much appreciated. You do have to follow, otherwise you can't get chicken. It's a massive lie. You really don't have to. There's so many people streaming ESO right now.
I love weddings.
It's fucking crazy.
Drinks all around.
Which is a good thing. I think I've hosted most of these people before, to be fair.
I love weddings. Drinks all around.
You'll do. Right, that's muted for a moment.
I love weddings. Drinks all around.
You are gonna shit yourself, dude. Right. Let's see who won. Get ready. Get ready.
I love weddings. Drinks all around.
Oh, no salt in the chat if you're lost, by the way. Crazy Ice Bear.
I love weddings. Drinks all
Congratulations, beer and cake in the chat, people. Do not be salty. If you lost, it's tough shit, but make sure you congratulate the winner. Thank you very much indeed, obviously, everyone, for watching. Hugely appreciate your support. If you are not subscribing on YouTube or following on Twitch, please do hit those buttons. They are free. Thank you for the follows today, by the way. It's gone fucking mad. If you want to help support, hey, thank you for the sub. Oh, man. If you want to help support outside the channel, there are some links in the info section for Patreon, Twitter, Facebook, the website ZynoGaming.com, Instagram's there somewhere. Patreon, by the way, it's the... Do you want to know a fact about my Patreon page? Apart from the fact it's mega, it's the world's highest performing Elder Scrolls Online Patreon page. Just saying. Anyway, thank you for watching. Now you're going to get to throw all of your emotes at the next person after the music's finished, okay? Thank you for watching. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye. Where's my bye-bye button? There we go.
I love weddings. Drinks all around.
God that the brothers on the rise now. Endless celebrations all in my house. Levitating now, I'm super duper fly now. London boy, but DC where I reside now. Put the time in while you always yelling time out. And quit it, cause I know I'm coming with it. You were sitting, you were wishing I was handling my business. Now I got the ball like Harry Potter playing Quidditch. And my business is humongous, you would think that happens in it. Oh man, I'm all that, yeah, I'm all that. Looking for that whip, yeah, that what you call that. I'ma blow up in the summer, have him yelling fall back. And I've always been ahead like an effing ball cap. Man, I came in the game like, whoa. Got a couple chains on me cause I like gold. They told me I'm the best and I told them I know. Cause when I'm in your town, every ticket I sold. Yeah, they saying I'm the man. Facts, bro. Lot of haters, tell me where they at though. I'm the new pop, all I do is rap though. Want me on your song, throw a couple stacks, yo. Woo! Everybody wanna do the same thing. That's why we ain't on the same page. Do my own thing, and I maintain. Flow like water, so I'm going mainstream. I'm going mainstream. Flow like water, so I'm going mainstream. Yeah, I'm going mainstream. Flow like water, so I'm going mainstream. I'm going mainstream. Mainstream. Flow like water, so I'm going mainstream.